Today on an all-new Dr. Phill.
My dad sending money to a woman in Mexico that he had an affair with.
He steals from family, friends, and strangers.
Nearly $2 million.
She had to have a lung transplant.
You paid for the lung. So she just showed up to a clinic with a lung in an igloo cooler and said, I'm here to get a transplant. She's had brain cancer 5 times.
7 times.
You think maybe she's lied to you? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Well, death threats from Mexican businessmen, black market organs for sale, tens of thousands of dollars in extortion money paid, and more than 100 trips back and forth to Mexico. It's an unbelievable story that has this sweet-looking grandpa trapped in what his daughters believe is an outrageous international scam. So who's the alleged mastermind behind this multi-million-dollar mystery? Well, according to Maurice's daughters, it's his former Mexican mistress. Take a look.
My dad sending money to a woman in Mexico that he had an affair with. He has sent her over $1.5 million.
My dad is obsessed with Josefina.
An extreme obsession.
He met her at a hotel that he was staying at.
She was the maid there. It just blows my mind.
I have never met her. I have never spoken with her.
My dad said that because he only had sex with her twice, it is not an affair.
We believe Josefina is conning our dad, absolutely.
Josefina has told my father many times that she's dying.
I believe Josefina is truly sick. She may not live. It's a matter of life and death.
So she started by asking my dad for money for a lung transplant. Then the lung apparently didn't take. Then she stored that lung to then resell it to someone else. That's totally black market. So clearly she's a criminal.
The long story is preposterous. We have told my father how it's not even medically possible.
Then she traded that lung to get ownership of a ranch.
She's told my dad that she's eventually going to sell and then pay him back.
She promised a huge payout.
There's no doubt in my mind that she's telling me the truth.
This whole situation is just shocking and bizarre. My dad believes that he is saving Josefina's life.
My dad hasn't seen her for at least 13 years.
My dad hasn't even spoken to a doctor or seen her medical bills.
She hooked him somehow.
I think she is holding something over him.
I look at her as the scum of the earth.
This awful woman that just is mocking my father.
I want Josefina out of his life.
She's ruined his life. She's ruined our lives.
This woman has torn our family apart.
Well, but now Maurice's daughters insist their father has gone from being conned to being a con man himself. They say he's lying, stealing, and taking money from innocent people to give to this former lover.
My father has preyed on a lot of innocent people.
His whole life is consumed by getting this woman money.
My dad would tell them that he needed the money to help this dying woman in Mexico.
He just finds those perfect victims.
My father is a manipulator.
He's a thief. My dad is financially ruined so many people's lives.
Destroyed some marriages, torn families apart.
I talked to a man my dad owed $20,000 to. He had taken out a personal loan. And his wife has Alzheimer's. He said that he doesn't have money to pay for her medical care.
There was one family from church that gave my dad their entire life savings.
Someone from my sister's church confronted her and said, if I met your dad in a back alley, I can't promise what would happen to him. And at least 10 people had confessed to him that they had given him money as well.
He's violated such an intimate trust there.
I feel terrible when I hear the stories. I wish I had the money to pay these people back.
I don't want him to hurt one more person.
Well, this is just a hell of a mess, right? Yeah, well, it gets worse. Because this dad has 7 children, and they claim that he has also victimized them.
My dad doesn't just prey on innocent people. He has preyed upon his own family.
He took money from me and each of my sisters.
One of my sisters gave my dad $40,000. He called her and said that literally if that money was not wired to him immediately, that he would be killed.
He has gone to a few of my sisters telling them I'll be arrested or some men in Mexico are going to come after me.
I had a business with my sister and my dad. My dad was able to steal $200,000.
Because my name was on the business and my sister's name was on the business, we went down with him.
He's destroyed their credit. They lost their homes. They lost their cars.
I went into a deep, dark depression. It's a place you kind of never want to go.
At the time, it was heartbreaking. It was the greatest betrayal.
Now my mom is packing up her home because my parents' house is in foreclosure. Just need a minute. My dad has broken our family.
My dad has no shame.
He literally does not care about any of us.
Okay. You were in business together.
Yeah, I probably suffered the most financially, yeah.
Just bottom line, how much do you think he stole from you, just straight up?
That I know of is about $200,000. You know, we lost a house, lost a car.
Take me through the moment that you realized my father has stolen my money and given it to some woman in Mexico to the point that I am losing my home. That's the moment I want to go through.
Yeah, I mean,
what happened?
like rage and anger and how could you possibly do this and think it was okay? But the thing is, you can't, there was no reasoning.
And you've not spoken to him in 2 years.
Right. People were coming to us saying he owed them money. We didn't know what it was about. And we knew there was just more to this story. And so we kind of stormed into his house and told him it's time to come clean. He came clean about some of it, as much as he was willing to, and told us about, you know, this woman, this money that he'd given to her. That was the point when I said, you know what, this is it. That was 2 years ago, and that was the last time I spoke to my father.
Karina, you had his phone for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
What happened when you had his phone?
All day long, there's phone calls, text messages, asking where's my money.
Which one of you got the death threat against your father for $40,000?
She's not here.
She's not here. And he actually called her and told her that she didn't personally get the death threat, but he called her and told her.
Then he'll have this fear in his eyes.
Yeah,
like,
and you just...
if I don't get this money, something bad is going to happen to me, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't want to fall for it, but you don't want your dad to be killed.
Right.
I mean, he pulls out all the stops.
By the way, he's married to your mother.
Right.
And she's now losing her house.
Right.
Because he's giving money to this woman.
Right.
Next 19 years of secrets, 2 Mexican mistresses, and nearly $2 million just handed away. Why did Maurice's wife continue to turn a blind eye to her husband's secret life south of the border? Well, I'm going to ask her. She's here. We're going to add her to the conversation after the break.
He has become a pathological liar. He is dishonest to the very core. The day that I found out that my husband Maurice had an affair with this woman, my whole world was turned upside down. She has conned him. How anybody can be at death's door for 13 years. She is such a medical miracle.
And later, you believe this woman just showed up at a clinic with a lung in an igloo cooler or something and said, I need a lung transplant, and I got the lung.
That's basically what happened.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill. Torn between her city husband and her country boyfriend.
You had an affair and convinced him you were the victim.
I didn't do it on purpose.
The 2 men meet for the first time.
Julie, sit wherever you feel like you should.
Will she choose her boyfriend
You were taking your child to go see your lover.
or her husband?
What gives you the right to be with this man's wife?
Then on Thursday, exclusive, the secret audio tapes of former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle.
I had this little boy. It was amazing. It just felt so good. I mean, it felt so good.
Only on Dr. Phill, Thursday.
I think my mom looked the other way for many years as far as my dad's behavior.
My mother is enabling him by turning a blind eye.
My mom tends to bury her head in the sand and pretend that nothing bad is happening.
We had an intervention a couple years ago and told my mom, if you don't leave him, then we will walk away from you for a while.
I honestly don't know why she has stayed.
Well, secret phone calls in Spanish and hundreds of trips over the border. Maurice's double life has his 7 daughters convinced that a bizarre scam concocted by his former mistress has turned their father into a con man and their mother into his protector and enabler. Now, before we speak with the matriarch of this beautiful family, let's hear what she has to say about her partner of nearly 50 years.
My husband, Maurice, has torn apart my family. My children have just been absolutely devastated. He has used them over and over. My daughters all feel like they've lost their father. Their hearts have been broken. He has become a pathological liar. He is dishonest to the very core of his being. That's really hard and sad for me to say that. My utilities have been turned off. My internet gets turned off. Frequently, my phone gets turned off. The day that I found out that he had an affair with this woman, my whole world was turned upside down and inside out. I felt worthless. I felt like a failure. This is someone I trusted with my entire life. I have absolutely no doubt she has conned him. If I saw her, I probably would scratch her eyes out. How anybody can be at death's door for 13 years. She is such a medical miracle. If she's really ill, let her die.
I'm glad to meet you, and I'm really sorry for the circumstance. I'm just so sorry. I hate it for you. This has been going on for 19 years, right? You now know.
Apparently,
Well,
yeah.
you did know that then, of course, but you know it now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
Devastated, angry at myself, angry at my husband, at this woman.
Along the way, he also had another woman, right?
Yes.
And that's when you found out that he has a daughter.
Yes.
Y'all have a half-sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Mexico. Did you know about that at all? Were you?
Not until 2 years ago.
You had to be shocked.
Oh, yes, I was.
What did you say to him when you found out he was shipping money off to this woman? Let's go back to the other woman, the one that's got the revolving lungs. And what did he tell you about it?
She had to have a lung transplant.
Okay, so she got a lung.
Yes.
And where'd she get the lung?
And he paid for it. I'm assuming...
He bought her a lung.
On the black market, I'm assuming.
It didn't take.
So they took it out and they put in another lung.
Okay.
But they kept the first one.
Where did they keep it?
In some kind of machine. In Mexico, they have the ability to keep organs alive.
That's what we're told.
And so then that lung was put into another woman, and her husband paid for it with a ranch.
So it's like a swap meet.
Yes.
So we'll give you a ranch for this lung.
Yeah.
But it worked for the second woman.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but now, so she has the ranch, so they need to sell the ranch to pay for the lung.
Right.
You know what's wrong with you people? Seriously, you know what's wrong with you people?
What?
Absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you people. That's the problem. Right. You, all 5 of you, are normal, healthy, loving, caring, adjusted people. Your mind can't go to the places that sick, demented people's mind go, so it's hard to see that coming. Because your mother, you've been put out of your house because of this. You're now going to be put out of your house, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to have to go find a job in a small apartment and go on with life.
And kind of start over making your own
Yes.
way. Let's take a break. Next, trading a lung for a ranch, selling organs on the black market, and being held hostage in a south of the border hospital. Maurice insists that his former mistress, Josefina, is on death's door. Apparently for a long time she's been on death's door. He says he needed all of the money he took from friends, family, and even a stranger at a gas station in order to save her life. Boy, do I have some questions for dear old Dad. Well, he's here, and we're going to meet him next. We'll add him to the conversation right after the break. So she just showed up lung in hand to a clinic, said, I'm here to get a transplant, and I've got my lung with me. And later...
She doesn't have money, so she's not actually in a hospital room.
Well, she doesn't need it. She can
I
get
know,
health
I'm
care.
just saying,
They
she's
have
on like the
universal
back
health care.
patio.
Is that outdoors?
Yeah, that's outdoors.
She's just sleeping next to the hospital.
I am very in love with Kit Moore.
She's already married.
She wanted a divorce.
But obsessed with a country star.
He signed your back.
I got it tattooed.
You're serving your husband with a restraining order, and you've got "Marry Me, Kit Moore" painted on your window? What are you, 12?
Is his daughter's survivalist boyfriend
Did he kidnap your daughter?
He did. No.
a threat to his family?
She asked me to come get her.
You're lying.
I'm lying? Why don't you shut the hell up? I'm not going to shut my mouth. If I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here, and I'd take his damn head off.
This November. Then on Thursday, the former Subway sandwich king.
He told me how he would get children.
How to gain their trust.
The secret tapes that catch him talking about child sex.
I had this little boy. This was amazing.
No one has heard this.
It just felt so good. It felt so good.
Until now.
Sometimes around the most, the young girls or the young boys?
Both of them do. Both of them.
Only on Dr. Phill. Thursday.
Nearly $2 million gone, and multiple families desperate for answers and their hard-earned money back. Where did all the money go? Now, to my guest, Maurice's former mistress in Mexico, who his family believes is conning their dad into believing that she is dying, and her only hope of survival is him paying for the life-saving medical care she needs. Now, Maurice disagrees and insists that she is sick and he will get his money back. Take a look.
I met Josefina nearly 18 years ago in Mexico. I had a 3-month affair with her. I'd already had an affair with another woman. I didn't think it was a big deal. 3 or 4 months after I came back to the United States, she told me that she had lung cancer. She said she needed a transplant. That's how it all started. I've been sending her money to keep her alive. I haven't seen her in 13 years. She promised that she would return all the money. I borrowed my money from my children. I said I was going to pay them back with interest. I did steal $200,000 from my daughter, Delane. Josefina needs $675 to get out of the clinic. If she could just get out, she would reimburse everybody. It'd be foolish to stop now.
Now, before we add Maurice to the conversation, I wanted to ask all of you at home on Twitter if you believe Maurice is being taken advantage of. Tweet hashtag Dr. Phill yes or hashtag Dr. Phill no. And if you want to join today's conversation, just tweet hashtag Dr. Phill, hashtag money to mistress, and you can join this conversation. So Maurice, come on out. Maurice, Dr. Phill.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir. Have a seat if you would.
Thank you.
Maurice, I'll just jump right into it. I've been here talking with 4 of your beautiful daughters and your wife, Linda. They feel lied to. They feel betrayed, that you have stolen money from them to the point that she's lost her home. She's losing her home. Do you deny that, or is that true?
I think that happened.
I want to see if I understand the timeline of this right. So in 1996, Maurice and Josefina meet, and you begin a 3-month affair in Mexico. And in 2000, Josefina calls Maurice and says she has lung cancer and needs a transplant. Why call you 4 years later and say I need a lung transplant.
Well, because she didn't have anybody to go to.
Where'd you get the lung?
She went down to Veracruz to receive that lung, and
on the black market?
Yes.
So you paid for acquiring the lung.
Mm-hmm.
So she just showed up lung in hand to a clinic, said, I'm here to get a transplant, and I've got my lung with me.
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
You believe this woman just showed up at a clinic with a lung in an igloo cooler or something and said, I need a lung transplant, and I got the lung, and this clinic just had a transplant team just happened to be standing by in Mazatlan?
No, the doctor was the one that put the whole thing together.
Shockingly, it didn't take. So Josefina decides to store the lung.
She stored it for about 2 weeks.
Like at the house?
No, not at the house.
Where'd she store it?
At the clinic right there, and that's what happened.
And then she finds another lung, and you help her pay for the second lung and transplant. Mm-hmm. So she says, okay, now I got an extra lung. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she sells it.
Right.
So that's when they swap the ranch. Yeah. So don't have the cash.
Yeah.
But I've got a ranch I'll trade you for. The ranch worth $1 million.
That's right.
But despite the new lungs, she's too sick to sell the ranch.
Well, she was too sick to do right immediately, yeah.
She's also had brain cancer?
Yes.
5 times?
7 times.
7 times. 7 brain cancers.
She survived that.
And then in 2002, the lung recipient died.
Mm-hmm. She gave it back to her.
Josefina sells the lung on the black market for $2.7 million.
2.2.
2.2 million bucks. But she says she can't pay you back.
She got the money, and the money went into a bank, and it's there frozen.
Why is it frozen?
Because of the amount of money. It's too much money.
I didn't know you could have too much money. She has too much money. You have a computer, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever check on these sort of things?
Yeah.
Because just before I walked over this morning, I just thought, you know what? I think I'll just Google up and see what a lung costs on the black market.
And what'd you find?
In China, you can get one for an average of about $23,000. Mm-hmm. In Europe, it was even less. In Mexico, they didn't really have much of a selection.
Yeah, I know.
I even looked on eBay. And they just didn't have anything. Maurice's family says he doesn't even remember the names of people they claim he's victimized. Well, but I have a list, and we're going to see what his thoughts and feelings are about this. We'll be right back. This wasn't the only relationship you had in Mexico, right?
No.
Do you have a second family?
It was a miserable time in our family.
It hurt. It wasn't fun to realize that.
Embarrassed, mad, just disappointed.
When we found out that my mom knew, it felt like an enormous betrayal.
This wasn't the only relationship you had in Mexico, right?
No.
Do you have a second family in Mexico?
I've got one in Ensenada.
A daughter?
19-year-old.
And did you raise her?
No.
Have you been supporting her?
Yeah.
So you've been paying money there and to Josefina?
Yeah. I decided that 2 weeks ago I was going to cut it off completely and not have any contact with her.
But that's, I mean, that's not entirely true.
We took his phone
so he couldn't call her. Yeah. And he actually left my house twice trying to go call her, like walk to a gas station.
I went to the bank to get the money that had come in.
And what were you going to do with that money?
Well, I was going to give it to my wife.
No, that's not true at all.
Weren't.
No, that's not true at all. I had to have him hand it over to me so I could count it, and he was not going to give any of it to my mother.
Look, if we have any hope here, One thing we got to do is be just completely honest. I mean, at this point, what the hell? Yeah. I mean, you got a second family in Mexico. You shipped nearly $2 million to Josefina. Wasn't your theory that they weren't going to let her out of the hospital if she didn't pay him some money? Yeah. You know what she told you?
Yeah.
So in Mexico, you don't pay, you don't go.
That's right.
So they keep you there.
That's right. They keep you there.
So you needed to give her money so she could get out.
That's what happened.
You do know that Mexico has universal health care, right? So she's got you and the government paying for her to go to the hospital.
Well, and she's not even actually going to have a room.
Pardon me?
She doesn't check in because she doesn't have money, so she's not actually in a hospital room.
Well, she doesn't need it. She can get health care.
I'm just saying, she's on like the back patio.
This is the story.
This is the story. She's like not even in an actual room, so we can't call her to find out what room number she's in. She's out in a separate area of people who can't pay. I mean, this is how ridiculous it is. But he just makes up reason with him. I mean, you can't reason with him.
She's in a patio room?
Yes, literally.
Is that?
No, she's behind the clinic.
Is that outdoors?
Yeah, that's outdoors. In a patio.
So patio. And it's cold, and she has no sweater or shoes because she's so poor.
So she's at a hospital.
Not in the hospital.
But not in the hospital. She's just sleeping next to the hospital.
Well, yeah, because the back end is enclosed. She's able to stay right there with the hope of getting the money.
And he believes this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
That's
what do you do with that?
Anything she...
Okay, well, this is just an example of one money transfer service that Maurice has used to pay for this kind of explanation. It sent anywhere between $150 and $990 nearly every day for the entire year. The money transfers from just this company totaled $105,134.01. That's just from one company.
Right.
So where does he get all of this money? Well, I made a chart. This is just according to Maurice, and I'm not even sure he knows for sure. He has taken his family for $500,000. He's taken $500,000 of his own money out of his account with he and his wife. He's gotten $3,500 from one guy, $2,700 from another, $3,000 this guy, an investor $100,000, Mexican businessman $40,000, $2,700 to Greg, $20,000 to a friend, $12,000 from a church member, $40,000 from another church member, $60,000 from a friend, 5 strangers totaling $300,000. Another stranger for $500. This was the one at the gas station, I think. Church elder, undisclosed amount. 6 church members. All of this, and when it's all added up, that totals to $1,464,400. And that's just what we've been told.
Right, right.
There's no question that's not the bottom.
Right. No.
It is not in the realm of possibility.
Do you believe what he's telling you?
Well, I don't believe it.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill, torn between her husband and her childhood crush.
You had an affair and convinced him you were the victim.
I didn't do it on purpose.
No, come on.
That's tomorrow.
Joining us now is Dr. Pat Basu. He is the Chief Medical Officer of Doctor on Demand, which is the company that Jay and I have that you've heard us talk about. Now, Dr. Basu has served as a White House Fellow. Prior to that, he served as Course Director of Health, Policy, and Economics at Stanford University. You've been listening to everything. What do you think of Josefina's claims when it comes to all of this lung manipulation? I mean, is this even remotely possible?
It's not possible at all. It is.
Step up here, because I want to be sure that he can hear you clearly and concisely. You just take my chair here.
Sure.
Just take my chair so you can speak directly to Maurice, if you would. Maurice, this is Dr. Pat Basu.
Nice to meet you.
So, is it possible what she's telling him is true?
There is no way this story is possible. And I should maybe just clear something up, because there's this talk about the black market, which does exist. But even in that case, it is not just a box of old organs that's lying around. There is no sort of black market box where they just sit there. Whether it's legal or the black market, that transplant has to be done in this very small window, or the lung itself will perish.
Okay, so what is the chance that she could go to Veracruz, get this lung, bring it back up to some clinic, some doctor does the transfer, it doesn't take, so she takes it out, puts another one in, saves this one for 3 weeks in a cooler or something at the clinic where they keep spare body parts, apparently, for 3 weeks, and then sell it again to some, or swap it for a ranch or whatever. What's the chance of that happening 3 weeks later?
Yeah, Maurice, I just have to tell you, the chance of that is 0. There is no single aspect of that story is possible, let alone the entire chain of events. It is just entirely not possible in any universe.
Do you believe what he's telling you?
Well, I don't believe it.
You don't believe which?
I don't believe what he's saying. It happens down in Mexico, and it's...
Yeah, you cannot revive the lung once it is dead. There is a window of 6 hours, and even in that window, by the time it's getting there, the lung is literally perishing. It cannot be revived. It cannot be reused in that capacity at all.
Well, I don't know how that happens then.
Well, it doesn't.
Huh?
It doesn't.
It doesn't happen.
It does. Yeah. I do know that the lung was 3 months in a container.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you think because she said that the laws of physics, the laws of science, the laws of medicine are suspended because of what she said. It just becomes true for her, but not for anybody else.
Well, I know that the lung was for 3 months until it was transferred.
The lung was outside the body for 3 months, mm-hmm. and then put back in.
It's in a container. They have some type of solution in Mexico. And they have, I know, doctor,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
This doesn't even make you think maybe she's lied to you?
No.
Okay. All right, listen, that's very important for me to hear. That's very important for me to hear. It helps me, that informs me to help inform you. Okay, next, there is one key person missing from this conversation. That's Josefina herself. I'm going to ask Maurice to give her a call after the break. Let's see if she answers from the back porch of the hospital. We'll be right back. We'll now dial the international number, and I would like to ask her a few questions if you could translate for me.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phill to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. We've talked a lot about Josefina, Maurice's former mistress. So I think it's time to try and add her to the conversation. So we are going to call her cell phone. We'll now dial the international number, and I would like to ask her a few questions too, if you could translate for me.
Después del tono, grabe su mensaje. Marque la tecla gato cuando termine.
It was a message that said, you know,
go through.
Yeah.
We'll just keep trying while we keep talking. So you don't believe Dr. Basu? We actually hired a private investigator in Mexico to learn a little bit. to learn a little bit more about Josefina, because you say she's just all alone and nobody to call but you, and you say you're helping her because she has no family. Well, actually, the private investigator did find her, and they found that her parents are still very much alive, that she has multiple siblings, and in fact, the phone that she talks to you on is actually billed to her sister, and at the same address.
I don't believe it.
He was also able to find information about Josefina's ranch. There's no property in her name at all. No ranches even located in that area in anybody's name. So the ranch she says that she's traded for is not in her name, is not in anybody else's name, and where she says the ranch exists, there are no ranches in that area at all, period, zip, zero, nada, yet no ranches.
Well, I don't know where you're getting your information.
Because yours is so reliable, right, Dad?
I mean, you can get on an airplane, you can go down there and find out. We got the address. We walk you right up the front door and knock. You can go to this hospital, room 103. She is not there. She is not there. That was actually inside the hospital. It wasn't on the patio. It was inside the hospital. Ranch. No ranch.
No, she was only
doesn't exist. Lungs that live for more than 6 hours. Nowhere on the globe does that happen, ever, period. These are facts. These are not opinions. These are not matters of, I see it one way and you see it another, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. These are facts. How many doctors do I need to line up to tell you you can't keep a lung alive for more than 4 to 6 hours?
I don't know, because, you know, that lung is alive for 3 months.
Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, next, where do Maurice and his family go from here? Well, I'm going to tell all of these women what I think needs to happen after the break. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Before we go on, earlier in the show, I asked my Twitter followers if they believe Maurice is being taken advantage of, and the results are in. 54% say yes, 46% say no. I'll tell you why I think it's 50-50, because they're focusing on him as being a perpetrator of all of you and all of these innocent people we had up here, as much as they are of him being a victim by her. I'm going to talk about you like you're not here for a minute, okay?
Go ahead.
And I mean, no disrespect, but I have to be candid about this. I've not evaluated your father long-term or historically. All I can tell you is where I see him now. And, you know, I spent a lot of time doing this kind of thing back when I had a real job and was in private practice. Part of my training was in forensic psychology, where I was often worked as an officer of the court to make determinations of sanity, person's ability to conduct their own affairs, things of that nature. It's obvious that he has constructed a delusional system here. And when you try to crack the delusional system, the walls come up. And at that point, this person is not able to separate fantasy and reality. Okay? So those lines are blurred. I think you can go to any court in the land and get a conservatorship appointed, so he cannot get himself bankrupt, so he cannot get himself exploited further, so he cannot conduct business and take other people's money. The first thing I would like to do is offer Maurice a chance to go and have himself evaluated at the Lawless PNP Center in Dallas to have him really looked at and see if there are neurological issues here, if there are psychological issues here that have him caught in a loop that he just can't get out of, and see if we can maybe do some things diagnostically and break that up for him. And also joining us is my really good friend, Miles Adcox. He is the owner and CEO of Onsite. And Onsite is the worldwide leader in intensive workshops and treatment for those that suffer from emotional trauma and mental health issues. Do you agree he's delusional here?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you take the help that I'm offering you to get some evaluation done and focus on yourself and get some professional help with this?
Yeah.
I really think it would be helpful to you. When you finish at Onsite, I'm also going to set Maurice up with ongoing therapy after he leaves here today. You know, at Doctor On Demand, we also have an extensive network of board-certified doctor-level psychologists that can see patients on the Doctor On Demand app from the comfort of your own house. You don't have to get in the car and drive to the therapist office. It's easier, it's cheaper, and in my opinion, every bit as effective. And for those of you at home that want to, you can download the Doctor On Demand app at Google Plays or the App Store. I want to thank all of my guests today. I want to give a special thanks to Dr. Pat Basu, Dr. Lawless, and the PNP Center, as well as Miles Adcock and Onsite for offering to help Maurice and the family as well. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
All-new Dr. Phill, a controversial new app.
It's like Yelp, but for rating people.
Now, the co-founder speaks out.
I didn't anticipate the negative attention.
Nobody brought up cyberbullying.
No.
You can't possibly be that naive.
Plus, a teen who thrives on negative attention.
I like it. I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care what they say.
So I do care, I just don't care. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Okay, I want you to imagine if there was an app that rated people similarly to the way Yelp rates restaurants, professors, doctors, and plumbers. I mean, think about it. What if it was rating you? Huh? All right. Where are we? There we are. Yeah, you.
Yeah, me.
Luckily, you got quite a few stars, okay?
Oh, I'll take it.
But would you... Yeah, all right. But would you want to know what strangers, neighbors, friends really thought of you? And would you want to be stuck with their reviews? Well, Julia is the co-founder of an app called People that has been making headlines. It's not even available yet, but has already been causing a huge controversy. Take a look.
Just when you think social media couldn't get any worse, there's now an app where people can rate you as a person.
It's like Yelp, but for rating people.
People allows users to give 1 to 5 stars to anybody they know. The app judges them in 3 categories: personal, professional, and romance. Critics worry it will foster online harassment and bullying.
Julia Cordray and her friend Nicole McCullough created People because they wanted a way to research strangers.
I came up with an idea of 1 star. What's your idea?
Anyone can make a profile of you and write up a review, and you get ranked from 1 to 5 stars. So if you have a crazy ex that wants revenge, they can theoretically give you 1 star, tell the world you're a bad person, and it'll be stuck there for anyone to see. That's a nightmare that could hurt your chances of getting a job.
I don't think it's good to spread negative reviews about people. I think that's terrible.
The People app is not live yet, but it's already stirring up anger.
Nothing good can come of it.
The app ironically became the subject of a slew of bad online reviews. All the negative attention even caused People's website to crash Thursday.
I think the people who are most motivated to write a rating about you is someone who doesn't like you, and that could be trouble.
Well, the reporter who broke the story for the Washington Post is Caitlin Dewey. And Caitlin is on the phone. Are you there, Caitlin?
I am. Hi, Dr. Phill.
Well, good morning. What concerns you most about the app?
I would say the thing that initially concerned me the most was the fact that there was no factoring for consent for whether the person being rated wanted to be rated or not. Originally, when I talked to Julia about the concept of the app, she wasn't planning to provide any way for people to opt out of it. And to me, that's concerning, and I think to a lot of other people who watch this space.
At this point, your concern is that this could go in a really hurtful way to people that don't really want to play the game.
Certainly. I mean, it's not just hurtful. It's also, to a certain extent, invasive of your privacy. Even if people are leaving you good ratings online, that doesn't necessarily mean that you as a private individual want to be rated at all. And you should certainly have that option to control your own image and your own privacy.
I read your article. I thought it was thoughtful. I thought you gave her an opportunity to say everything that she wanted to say, so it was informative. I appreciate your point of view, and I appreciate you talking to us this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys really broke the story and got it to everybody's attention, gives us a chance to talk about it. So good job.
Thanks very much.
All right, thanks, Caitlin. Well, Julia, the creator of People, is here, and she wants to set the record straight. She says that the media has way overreacted to this, has attributed a lot of things to it that were not her intent, and so she wants to tell us what was her intent and, as I say, set the record straight. So we're going to have Julia come on out. How are you? Good to see you. How are you? Have a seat.
Great, thank you.
So what do you want to clear up? What is it that people misunderstand about this?
Sure. So with the feedback, we've made some really great movements towards, more positivity for our app. So, you are not anonymous on our app. You cannot have your profile started by anybody else. You have 100% opt-in ability. And, we really want to make sure that you have full control over what goes live on our app.
Well, these are all changes, though, right?
They are, yeah, and we're really excited about those changes.
When you designed this to begin with, you guys had to know that this was subject to being seriously abused.
Well, sincerely, when we set out to build this product, we came at it from 2 empathetic female entrepreneurs who wanted to really honor people in this system. And what we realized was, when we raised all the money and we got everybody excited about it, there wasn't a lot of pushback on those features. And so it was almost a shock and a surprise when we brought out the initial concept, the feedback. But we're really grateful for the feedback because now we get to build a world-class product.
Seriously, you went to your VCs to raise money
Absolutely.
And nobody around the conference table said, wait a minute.
So each meeting...
What about cyberbullying?
That was never anybody's concern. So you have to imagine how surprised all of us were. We never would intend harm with a product or an app. That's just not who we are. I didn't really anticipate the negative attention.
In this whole process, nobody brought up cyberbullying.
No,
nobody
really.
brought that some girl could break up with some guy or some guy could break up with some girl and go on the internet and say, oh, here's a place to rate her. What a worthless, no good human being.
We made sure that we had some checks and balances put in the app to where that's unacceptable. So I
go on Jimmy Kimmel all the time and do mean tweets where people do mean tweets about me and say, I'd rather take advice from Dr. Pepper than Dr. Phill. You know, shut up, you hillbilly, bald-headed hillbilly, shut up.
You know what? No, Dr. Phill, you and anyone else never deserves that. That is unacceptable. And those people, unfortunately, are not happy themselves, and they're living in a resistant state, you know, and you just have to send them love and empathy.
I was buying all this till I'm hearing this, but now I'm thinking, you can't possibly be that naive.
Right.
You want people to go on the internet and write anything they want, but when you came here and you wanted to edit the show, review the show, control all the questions I was going to ask you, are you kidding me?
Well, you have to understand, Dr. Phill, after the amount of bullying that we have received and the media misrepresenting us, we had to be really careful on who we choose to tell our stories to.
But you were going to put up an app where anybody could say anything.
That's not true, Dr. Phill. We did have terms.
Originally.
No, we do have terms and conditions that had a lot of fail-safes and checks and balances that are above what's currently available.
I think you had some safeguards in there people don't know about.
Absolutely.
Okay, these are the reported elements from the beginning. The initial poster has to be 21.
Yeah, absolutely.
By initial poster, that means this is somebody that if I decide I want to put you on this site.
So you can't do that right now, but
you could to begin with.
Initially, you could add a user to our app.
Okay,
right.
So this was initially, because I want to show how you guys have evolved.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, no, I think that's to your credit.
Absolutely.
I want to show how you've responded to the feedback. The initial poster, if I'm putting you up, I have to have a Facebook page.
Yeah, you need to have a Facebook profile, yes.
Okay. Initial poster must have the subject's cell phone number.
Yes.
Or at least say they do.
You need to have it, yeah.
Or at least say they do.
Or at least say that is their cell phone number, yeah.
And those are all still true, right?
No, this is not the way the app works today.
Okay, so those are no longer true?
So you do need to be 21. You do have to have a Facebook profile, but again, you cannot add anybody to the app.
Okay.
So it's 100% opt-in. You have to sign up for our app if you want to be a part of our app.
All right, so...
No one can add you to the app. So that third bullet down is no longer relevant.
So now it's 100% opt-in. Okay, good. All right, so initial poster and reviewers must use their real name.
Yes.
So if I do write about you, I have to use my real name.
Yeah, you are not anonymous in our app. Okay. And we think that that's really important compared to other similar social media rating systems.
Yeah. The initial poster must answer 4 questions: profession, passion, interest, and are you single?
That's right. That's still the same.
I have to say that about me?
You have to answer those questions about yourself.
Okay. Initial poster can search for subject to write a recommendation.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Choose category of knowing subject. I either know them personally, professionally, or romantically.
That's exactly right.
Okay. I can write and submit a recommendation.
That's right.
And I rate the subject 0 to 5.
Initially, it was 1 to 5 stars. Yes, initially.
Is it 0 to 5 now?
There is no 0 ever, but now there is no star rating.
So there's no star rating?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. And the subject cannot opt out, but now they can?
Absolutely.
In fact, now they have to opt in.
You have to opt in.
Okay, and the subject cannot delete negative reviews?
Initially.
Okay, what about now?
Now you have full control of what goes live on your profile.
Okay. The subject must be registered or no negative reviews can be posted?
So again, you have full control now over your profile. So whether you decide to post some recommendations about you in whatever light that they are, that is up to you.
Okay.
But we do recommend having a balanced profile because we know we're not all, perfect. So we do recommend that you...
Well, speak for yourself. But, okay, but now the subject cannot opt out. That was controversial.
Yes.
They cannot delete negative reviews, and the subject must be registered or no negative reviews can be posted. Those are things that you've changed now.
Those are some of the things that we've changed, yes.
Okay. And so additionally, now this is gone.
No stars.
Okay, so this is a new change here.
Yeah, and we're excited about that change. We think it's going to cause a lot of people to win.
So, did you cave to the pressure and pull the teeth of your app where it's now going nowhere? And later...
This summer, meet Tracy Barbie. I love posting crazy things just to get people's reaction. I even posted I wanted to get raped.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phill. She's obsessed with gambling.
I've lost between $300,000 and $400,000.
Out of control.
You're gambling away your rent money.
I can't stop.
Out of cash.
How many credit cards have you opened?
Between 50 and 100.
And she has a big favor to ask of Dr. Phill.
Why did you bring me these bills?
I thought maybe you might pay them.
You wanted me to pay them.
You don't have to pay them if you can't afford it.
That's Monday.
So, did you cave to the pressure and pull the teeth of your app where it's now going nowhere?
What do you mean where it's now going nowhere? It's apps that are very important in how they can improve your quality of life. And so one side lifts you up, and the other side allows you to keep everything safe as well. You really should look into people before you get close with them and work with them. And that's no different in anything that you do currently.
Yeah, well, anybody that gets a negative comment up is going to bail, right?
Well, that's up to them because they chose to put it on the app.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think that that's true because with Airbnb and VRBO, there's negative comments about people on both sides, and they're still renting out their properties. They're still, going and renting properties. So, we do need to hold people accountable.
We're talking about personal, though.
I get that.
So if they didn't like what was being said, now they can opt out.
They can deactivate their account. Yes, right. Absolutely.
I can't bail. People talk about me every day. Nothing I can do about it. All right. Unlike Julia, my next guest says she loves getting negative attention on social media and giving it. Why she thrives on being an internet bully. Julia, thank you so much for clearing all this up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love posting crazy things just to get people's reaction. I do what I want to do, and I don't care what people think about me. I posted I wanted to get raped, and I had over 26,000 likes. Online, I tell people they're ugly, they're fat, they deserve to die.
I cannot even repeat some of the comments my next guest, Tracy, posts on her social media page. She says she loves negative attention so much that she does everything she can to solicit it. She says it makes her feel good. Take a look.
Tracy Barbie. This summer, meet Tracy Barbie. I love posting crazy things just to get people's reaction. I do what I want to do, and I don't care what people think about me. I would talk about what's going on with my life, what's going on with my body, and the fact that I want to marry a rich white guy. Will's really hot.
Oh, she's hot.
Barbie in love with the new hot guy. Barbie and Ken. Oh my God, kiss me. We just kissed on camera. Oh my God. I even posted I wanted to get raped just to get attention. Then I said being raped felt amazing. People were sharing my status, my comments, and I had over 26,000 likes and 4,000 comments. 90% of the comments were negative, but I loved it. I just have a rape fetish, but I have not been raped. I deal with guys who are abusive and cuss and yell at me. That's how I feel loved. Yeah, I have sex the second date, only if he fits my standards. Once I had unprotected sex with this guy, and then my Facebook started blowing up with so many comments, and people started sharing it, and it got over like 80,000 likes. I knew it would get people's reaction. When they called me a slut and called me gross, I didn't care. Like, I don't care what they think. I felt even happier that they were getting more and more mad. Auto comments boosted up my self-esteem because it's attention and I love it. Team Barbie, score.
Tracy says when she was in high school, she was bullied by her classmates, so she decided to get revenge. She says she stole a stranger's photo, made a fake profile, and then used it to bully her bullies. Take a look.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Tracy Barbie. I'm the baddest bitch in town right now on Facebook. When I was 14, I created a fake profile page called Jacqueline. I was catfishing people from around the country with pictures of a girl I found online. I used the photo and bullied over 200 people online. Online, I tell people they're ugly, they're fat, they deserve to die. I even told someone to go kill themselves. People started bullying me at school, so I wanted to bully other people to get attention and revenge. Like, I just had so many people commenting on my stuff, giving me so many hate comments, but I love it. I love the negative attention. I felt like I was just having fun because I'm always like, nothing bad ever happens to me. When I was bullying people, I felt good. It made me feel tough.
Okay, well, so you say you like negative attention.
Yeah.
Is that why you're here?
Yeah.
So you're here to get more negative attention?
I mean, I guess. Like, I know, like people try to give me positive attention, but I don't like it. I prefer, like, negative over positive. And when they do give me positive attention, I do something outrageous even more to get back negative attention.
Do you think that that's different? You're different in that regard?
I like being different in my own way. I don't want to be like everyone else. Like, I like being different and unique in my own way.
When people go on your site and say you are a complete moronic idiot, that makes you feel... When people go on your site and say you are a complete moronic idiot, that makes you feel good.
I like it. I don't care.
But
I mean, I don't care what people think about me. They can say whatever they want about.
Well, apparently you do.
No, I don't care.
No, apparently you do.
No, I don't care.
Actually, you do.
No, I do not care.
Actually,
How
you do.
Care?
Well, you told me. You said I post crazy things to get attention. I love it when people post things criticizing me on my website.
Yeah, I mean...
So you do care. You do things to get people to not like you.
To get their reaction.
So you do care.
I mean,
want
I care,
their reaction.
but I don't care what they say, but I care about the attention they're giving me.
So you're going to have to break that sentence down into parts for me. You said, okay, so I do care, I just don't care. I care what they say, but I don't care what they say. I care, but I don't care.
I care what they say.
If it's care with several A's in it, then you do care. But if it's care with only one A in it, you don't care?
Something like that, yes.
Okay, so you care about negative attention. It makes you feel better.
Yeah, it makes me feel better.
Okay, so some of the negative comments that Tracy cares about are, I had to clean some of them up, but what's wrong with you? You need professional help. You are mental because you post about getting raped.
How does that make you mental?
Blank, kill yourself. Tracy, I'm threatening you. I'm going to break into your house and shoot you.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Tracy, you are a blank. Now, some of the questionable statements that Tracy has made is, I have a rape fetish, and I posted on social media that I want to be raped. I like abusive men, and I like to be manhandled. You said, I got 60,000 comments and 80,000 likes when I wrote on my social media about having unprotected sex. I don't love my family. I know I'm supposed to, but it would be a lie if I did. I'm really self-absorbed. Oh, go on.
I am.
And only care about me. I call my mom bitch. Last time I called her mom was when I was 12. Nothing ever bad happens to me. I play with fire, but I never get burned.
Exactly.
And you're complaining, right?
I'm not complaining. Like, I mean, like what I mean by that is, like, I've been meeting random guys online ever since I was 16, and nothing bad ever happens to me. Like, I never got raped or kidnapped or anything. Like, I'm invincible.
Well...
Nothing bad ever happens to me. Like, I don't know why.
Well, I just don't know, but, like, we're going to take, like, a break right now. And, coming up, like, one of Tracy's followers on social media, like, she just says she doesn't like Tracy's online behavior, and she just wants her to stop. She'll meet Tracy for the first time next.
No one in their right mind should be acting like Tracy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so constipated right now.
The things Tracy posts online are weird and nasty.
I stick my mind and I tell it like it is.
I've never met Tracy in person, but I think she's delusional.
People always notice me and they want to take pictures with me. It's crazy.
Tracy thinks she's famous after stealing someone's identity. She was laughing about cyberbullying people.
Oh my God.
I thought it was really, like, strange, because why would anybody in their right mind laugh about that? I can't tell if Tracy's putting on an act or if something's seriously wrong with her.
Just this past August, Tracy became friends with one of her followers, Anita, who is horrified by Tracy's post online. She says Tracy is delusional and needs to be stopped before it's too late. Now, they're meeting in person for the first time today, so thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So how did you encounter her? How'd you run into her on the internet?
Because one of my friends had posted a video of her, you know, and then I went on her page. I started watching her videos, and I'm just like, is this the real her? Like, or is it just an act, you know? It made me, like, want to find out who she really is as a person.
You're concerned. Why? You're afraid what's going to happen to her?
Because she'll post things, like, about her liking abusive men. And I've seen a post before about a guy bashing her head into a hotel bedroom. Like, and then she, like, posted the scar, and that concerned me. It's like, it's not normal, so, like,
I liked it.
But I'm just trying to figure out why.
Like, when, like, it's because, like, this guy, like, I was in a hotel with this guy, and he wanted to hook up with me, but I didn't want to, because, like, he wasn't really, like, my type. And then, like, he hit me. Like, just, like, he just, like, threw my head. Like, he just, like, he's, like, smacked me, my head hit the, like, hotel, like, bed. And I liked it, though.
So you've, you go on these sites where men are, and you say you've connected and gone out with...
Yeah, over, like 500 hot guys online. Ever since I was 16, I've been meeting guys online.
And you go out with them every night?
Yeah, every night, every single night. There's never a night where I don't go out.
So you don't get along with your mother. How about your father?
My dad's sick. He's been sick since I was 11.
Uh-huh. Sick how?
I don't know. He had a stroke. He's, like, sick in bed.
Uh-huh. He has trouble communicating?
Yeah, he can't talk.
Do you go see him?
No. Mm-hmm. I just, like, remember him better when he wasn't sick, so... Yeah, I don't talk to him at all.
Yeah. Do you have any friends?
My friends are all guys. I only have, like, 5 best girlfriends.
But you say they're only friends for, like, once or twice.
I know, but, like, because, like, guys always leave me, but sometimes they do stay. And, like, I've, like, spoken to guys who, like, I met online, and, like, we're still talking. It's been, like, a year. You know what I mean? Like, guys always leave, but some guys do stay and actually want to get to know me. Some do.
What's your best quality?
My body.
Yeah.
What's your best skill?
Meeting hot guys on the internet.
And you say you want to meet some white guy and have a baby?
Yeah, I only date white guys. I want to meet like a really hot, rich white guy and have a cute little mixed baby with him.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yeah, I did. Why?
That's curious. What you want to say?
I don't know. I don't know if this is like really her or if it's like not like attention.
No, like I'm not acting. I'm just very straightforward, and a lot of people are jealous of me because they're not straightforward like I am. I'm very open with my life, you know. Like I'm very open.
You've had sex with a lot of guys, right?
Yeah, and I say it online too. Like I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Like. You want to know the number?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Are you working towards a number?
No, but like I hate guys with low sex numbers. I like guys with high sex numbers like me because guys with low numbers are so boring.
Do you have any questions for me?
No. I just can't believe I'm like meeting you right now. Oh my God. Like I watched your show. I never thought like I'd actually meet you in person. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you should be me. You're so immature.
I'm not immature.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phill to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
We can't do this show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
I do have a question for you. Why do guys always leave me? They always leave me. I don't know why. Like, they take me on a date, and then the next day they never come back. Like, what's their problem?
I think what you'll find is that in this world, when you choose the behavior, it comes with consequences. And whatever behavior you choose, good behavior, bad behavior, whatever, it comes with a certain consequence. And when you say guys don't stay with you, you're not exactly generating a profile that makes the guy want to take you home to meet mom.
Yes, I do. Some guys I dated. Like, I dated a guy for 3 months.
Yeah, well, that's not exactly a lifetime. But it's interesting that whether you're putting on some act to get attention or whether you genuinely have a distorted view of life or whatever, doesn't really matter, because even if you are putting on an act to get attention, what's important to me is why you chose this particular act instead of another act. I mean, I spend most of my time hearing what people don't say. I look at all behavior the same, and it's interesting that everything you do, the way you describe the guys that you want, the things that you portray yourself to be on the internet, the things you say about the way you want to be treated, the way you seem to have this fixation on negative input, the way you run from positive input, all tells me that you love being in the victim role and that you love being in a situation where you're punished and put down. And that tells me that you have absolutely no self-worth, no self-esteem, and no self-respect.
I have a high self-esteem. I don't care what people
Because
think about me.
anybody that had self-esteem, self-worth, and self-respect would not allow random guys to use their body as a playground. They would not allow random guys to entertain themselves in such a way that could leave you with a disease or a pregnancy or a situation or circumstance where you were hurt, killed, or left in a life circumstance that you would pay for years to come, and no one with self-worth or self-esteem would allow themselves to be used and manipulated that way and then dilute themselves that this is something they want. And that tells me that whether it's because, as you said, that your mother wasn't there for you and that you feel that your dad bailed on you when he had a stroke and you got left on your own and you were cute and so you got attention for that, so you started using the currency that you had. It just tells me that your self-worth and self-esteem is absolutely on the floor, and I hate that for you.
No, it's not, because I don't hook up with every guy. I'm not like that. I go on dates. I only hook up the second date if he's my type. I don't hook up with every guy. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I have standards.
Yeah. Trust me, if you don't think that you won't wind up on the internet with somebody that will rape you, or somebody that will cut your throat and leave you for dead.
That would never happen to me. Nothing bad ever happened, ever. It's not going to happen.
I would really hope that somewhere you would set a goal to say, you know what, that's all fun and games, and I get lots of attention for it, but there's more to me than that, and I need to treat myself better than the way I'm treating myself. And by the way, you run from positive, you run from positive feedback, you run from positive attention, because it requires you to engage and interact on a mature level that requires something from you other than being used, and that scares you because you're so immature.
I am not immature.
You're right. You would actually have to grow up to be immature. You see that empty chair next to Robin? It could have your name on it. I'll explain how you could make history after the break.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phill. She's obsessed with gambling.
I've lost between $300,000 and $400,000.
Out of control.
You're gambling away your rent money.
I can't stop.
Out of cash.
How many credit cards have you opened?
Between 50 and 100.
And she has a big favor to ask of Dr. Phill.
Why did you bring me these bills?
I thought maybe you might pay them.
You wanted me to pay them.
You don't have to pay them if you can't afford it.
That's Monday.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phill community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phill Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, we have been talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media today, but there is a website I want you all to know about that only does good, and it's called omaze.com.
I was so excited when they reached out to me to partner with my foundation when Georgia smiled.
Now, fans can donate as little as $10 to win an experience called Walk a Day in Robin's Shoes. In fact, while the cat was away, I invited a few fans for a sneak peek inside Robin's shoe closet. Take a look. Hey, come on in. Hey, girls.
Hi, Dr. Phill.
Are you guys ready for a preview of these shoes?
Yes.
All right, come on. All right, here we go. Everybody get in here. All right, are you ready? I'm gonna open the door. Come in close, come in close. Take a look.
Oh, wow. This is unbelievable. Look at this.
Okay, but you got to donate first. All right, there you go. Let me see you donate. Cool. All right. Got to hurry. She'll be home soon. All right, there you go. All right. Boy, should have got me a room full of shoes a long time ago.
so beautiful. I can't wait to try these on.
I want this shoe.
What a dream come true.
Oh, those are stunning.
I could definitely walk a day in these.
And it's all for a great cause. This benefits Robin's Foundation when Georgia smiles. All right, girls, that's enough. Come on. You gotta go. She's gonna be home soon, and you haven't won yet, so you can't take the shoes with you. Come on. Come on, I'm gonna have to frisk you guys looking for shoes. Remember, the more you donate, the more chances to win. I think I'll donate. I might try to walk a day in Robin's shoes. Who knows? Bye.
What was going on because look at what I found when I got home. Philip, I'm home. What are you doing?
Trying to decide flash or no flash.
Oh, really? Okay, well, it sort of looks like you've been doing this before. The dog even looks pretty comfortable in here. I'm not sure this is okay. Sorry, but put my shoes down.
All right.
Wait a minute. Did you donate? That's what's important.
I did donate.
Okay, great.
You have no idea how much I've donated.
Well, that makes it okay then, dear. I love it.
You should donate. Don't forget, just $10.
I guess I'll leave you two alone and let you keep doing whatever it is you're doing.
Omaze.com/Robin. We'll see you if you win. You have no idea what the pup and I do behind closed doors, do you?
I'm trying to keep you out of that room.
Yeah, no, I want everybody to know that when we say donate $10, this goes to fighting domestic violence with families, and not just the women, but the children that are caught in the crossfire of domestic violence. We're just having fun and cutting up, but the cause is very serious.
Very important.
And remember, the more you donate, the more chances that you have to win. And the ultimate experience is a day in Hollywood for you and a friend.
That's right. They get to come here, fly here from wherever they live. They get to stay in a beautiful hotel right here in Hollywood, ride around in a limo, get the glam treatment, sit next to me during a taping of the show, and then do something that has never been done before since launching the Dr. Phil show.
That's right. One fan and one fan only will do the signature walk-off with the two of us. So hurry and log on. And let me brag for just a second. The campaign has only been live for a little over 2 weeks now, and already some experiences are selling out. I understand that the Lunch with You package has broken Omaze records. Never before in the history of the website has a premium package sold so quickly in such a short amount of time.
It has really, really gone quickly, and you know what? It only takes $10. And I tell you this, George Clooney had a package, had a campaign, and his was win a date with George Clooney, and it was won by a $10 donation.
And as I say, it's all for a great cause, and one that is important to Robin and I to help the women and children that we talked about. So please help if you can. Go to omaze.com/Robin. Thanks to all my guests today. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Dr. Phill. She swears her ex is stalking her.
Are you texting her 30 times a day?
No. He claims she's delusional.
You believe his family were watching you from the trees.
Add her mother to the mix.
He's nuttier than a porta potty at a peanut convention.
And let the blame games begin.
The only tracking I can verify is when you've tracked him.
How have I tracked him?
Like in Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. Let's count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. that song the kids sing in the playground, Go Again? First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby and the baby carriage, right? But unfortunately for my guests, Leslie and Andy, their song goes more like, first came marriage, then came the nasty email exchanges. Leslie to Andy, once again, you're the one making that rule, which is hindering me from seeing my son. Andy to Leslie, don't try to fool me with your innocent victim crap. Everything you say is a lie or manipulation. Then came a physical fight, leading to Leslie's arrest. Then came a prison stint, CPS on direct dial, and a wife with delusions that her husband was bugging her phone and her in-laws were, get this, wearing camouflage and spying on her from the trees. Or was it a delusion?
I was married to Andy for 7 years. We recently divorced and we share a 5-year-old son. My ex-husband Andy is the most condescending, controlling person I have ever met in my life. The first time I saw the rage, he accused me of manipulating him into getting pregnant, and he actually raised a hand to me. Different ways that Andy was abusive to me was he put his fists through doors. He drug me around the car by my hair one night, and he kicked me in my ass, and it was the most humiliating thing. Even at the very end of my pregnancy, he shared with the Bible study group that his wife was as big as a house. He was not sexually attracted to her anymore, and she was annoying as hell. I've never been treated with such utter disrespect and hatred in my entire life by anybody. In 2011, 5 police officers showed up at my house to arrest me for a prescription fraud charge. And Andy had called the detective and tipped them off that I had done it. And I was arrested and spent a year away from my child. My ex-husband has primary custody and I have visitation. I want joint custody. I am the best thing for my child, but I literally hate Andy for what he has done to me.
Well, Leslie also accuses her ex-husband of cyber-stalking her, including tapping her phone and tracking her every move via GPS. Here, take a look.
I believe that my ex-husband is stalking me. He has used spyware on my phones and email accounts and text messages. I believe that he has had a GPS actually hardwired into my car and maybe even a recording device. The way that he harasses me today is his text messages will come through. There will be like 32 texts that come in all at once. There is things on my phone that nobody can explain, like I'm having a conversation with somebody in my house or in my car, and I will say a term like, oh, God, Andy is so bipolar. And the next thing I know, he's texting me. I am not bipolar. At one time, these mind games and harassing emails and text messages, they started to make me extremely paranoid. I feel at all times like I question whether or not I'm going crazy. I think that his ultimate goal is to break me down. He can't have me. He'll ruin me to a point where nobody else will want me.
Okay, Leslie, let's just get right to this, okay? You think he wants you back.
Yes, sir.
So you think he's doing this to force you into dependency?
On him, yes, sir.
Is he stalking you?
I know that I believe 100% in my heart he is.
Is he emailing you and texting you
Yes.
20, 30 times a day?
Yes, sir, that is true.
What's he
Yes.
say?
Most of the time it's just degrading. Sometimes it's, he goes to, I'm a wonderful person, and it flip-flops back and forth so much. It's either I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread or I'm the worst thing that ever was put on the face of this earth. You never know.
Well, Leslie's ex-husband, Andy, says she's delusional, paranoid, a bad influence on their 5-year-old son, who sent me a plea saying, Dr. Phill, can you get my mommy and daddy back together so they don't fight anymore?
Leslie has been accusing me of stalking her, messing with her phones and computers and spying on her. All this paranoia that went on for years. The mindset and the actions are generated by drug use. I decided maybe it'd be good if we go on vacation. I found this big log cabin. It was secluded. What I had hoped would be coming back together. Yet what happened was her stating that there's people spying on her in the trees, top of the house, people following us in cars. Our relationship got so strained and chaotic. I was just fed up with all the insanity. I love Leslie, and I hate seeing what addiction has done to her. I felt I needed to be responsible for my son and prevent them from being together.
Good to meet you. Are you stalking this woman?
No.
Are you emailing or texting her 15, 20, 30 times a day?
No, I don't know why my texts go out, you know, all divided up.
So you send really long texts?
Yeah, anything that's more than 3 or 4 lines will split up.
Are you in love with her?
No.
You're here because you want custody of your 5-year-old child.
No. I'm here because I want the harassment and the ability to be able to parent my child without the fear of him or his family calling CPS on me or being followed or monitored by him or his family or CPS. And I want joint custody of my child if and only if I can get a job where somebody doesn't call and sabotage it, and I have a place to live where nobody is in control of taking it away from me. And, you know, if I piss my mom off just the right way, she's going to kick me out of the apartment that I live in that I have to have in her name because I can't get an apartment with a felony.
How long you been in that apartment?
Since July 3rd.
Seems plenty of time to find a job. I don't have the luxury to sit on my butt with the responsibility of taking care of a child. I don't have a spouse to hang out and unemployed and sit and talk to the cleaning lady that I pay for.
I'm not sitting around my apartment talking to a cleaning lady
You
that
were
you're
at the
paying
house for 6 years. You want to pay the rent. You don't want somebody... Well, you don't want somebody kicking you out or controlling you. But you won't do nothing about it.
Maybe that's why your text messages break up into... Says we're changing sentiments here. There's got to be a different guy. Cause...
Somebody's bugging my phone and stalking me.
Well, coming up, Miss Senior Texas 2013 sounds off. We're talking about her mother. Her name is Myrna. She says she knew Andy was bad news from day one. But she doesn't necessarily get along all that much better with her daughter. But we'll hear from her when we come back.
The last time I was at Leslie's home, her phone just started pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. And I said, what is that? And she said, oh, it's text from Andy. And I said, well, how many are there? And she said, 26. That's just ridiculous.
And later...
If I thought for a second I could get by lying to you, I mean, I'm not stupid. I knew that y'all would know the truth about all of this.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill, a former guest.
5 years ago, I cussed out your producer.
Her daughter who lives on the streets.
I saw her being handcuffed on the news.
For the first time in 2 years.
You said you wanted to come home, and you said no.
They'll face off.
You're not going to use my house as a squat house.
You don't know what I'm doing.
I understand.
That you screwed my brain up and fried it like a psycho. I'm psychotic now, dude.
That's tomorrow.
Leslie and Andy are the divorced parents of a 5-year-old son and currently battling over a number of issues. We're going to add another person to the mix, Leslie's mother. Myrna also says Andy is a control freak who uses her grandson to get what he wants from both Leslie and her.
My daughter Leslie just divorced a narcissistic abuser. He will not leave her alone. Andy, in the beginning, did not want children, and I advised her not to marry him. Things got worse after they got married because Andy is incredibly controlling. Andy does harass Leslie, but I think he tortures her mentally and emotionally. The last time I was at Leslie's home, her phone just started pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. And I said, what is that? And she said, oh, it's text from Andy. And I said, well, how many are there? And she said, 26. That's just ridiculous. I'm never surprised by the things Andy does to Leslie. I do sometimes get surprised at the levels that he will stoop to. One minute Andy loves her, and the next day he's trying to throw her in jail by telling lies on her. When he gets mad at others, he threatens, he makes up lies. He never says it to your face. He won't talk to you face to face at all. He texts or emails like a 12-year-old girl. He has definitely threatened me that if I don't do what he likes, that he will withdraw my grandson from me. He's done that once, and it was very painful. He has turned on me with his texting and his threats. He constantly reminds me that grandparents have no rights in Texas. If you don't do it Andy's way, you won't do it at all. I've never had a conversation with Andy face to face because he's a coward, and he will only bully women over text. If I could see him face to face and give him a piece of my mind, I'd say, you're nuttier than a porta potty at a peanut convention.
You think he's stalking her?
I don't know, Dr. Phill. I know some horrible things he has done to her.
Like what?
Like, she got out of the hospital from having her baby on Thanksgiving Day. She didn't have any clothes. He didn't call her. He didn't tell her he was going to not come and get her. He left her standing there, and she had to call her hairdresser to bring her some clothes and go home because he had gone to Thanksgiving dinner at his sister's house.
What was the problem when she delivered the baby and she admitted she'd been on methadone while pregnant? And my son spent the first 30 days of his life in the NICU being detoxed off of methadone with morphine.
And you thought that was still okay to do that to your wife?
You think she was okay doing that to my son?
No other man's going to do that to his wife who's just had their baby.
No wife is going to do what, you know. What do you think about a woman that's using,
I'm not going to validate what you've done. What you did was wrong.
Child.
It was wrong, and that's the way you do. I mean, he could have called me. I need you to go get Leslie. I'm upset with her, and I would rather not go get her. Don't just leave her.
Wonder why she called her hairdresser instead of you.
Well, she and I have been off and on for more than 20 years.
Your whole life?
No, not our whole life. Not our whole life.
The 9
You weren't
years
there
I've
our
been in
whole
y'all's life and the stories I've been told by Leslie before that, it started a long time ago.
Guys, this is about our child.
I agree.
This is not
But
about
you made it
who's
about
done what
stalking.
worse, because I have done some terrible things.
You made it about stalking.
I asked the question. I'm trying to find out what family situation this child's embedded in. I want to know whether or not this is some wild-eyed guy that's stalking you, trying to drive you crazy. I want to know if you're stable or you're not stable. You need to make up your mind about why you're here. You wrote me. I didn't stop your car on the street.
Okay. It was the cut downs between the two of them that I felt like I needed to say that. That's
Well, Dr. Phill asked me what he had done, and I was telling him.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Y'all can tell your lies.
That
You're
is not a
welcome.
lie. You did that.
Are you tracking her?
No, but I bought 18 iPhones in 2 years before she got booted out.
She thinks they're bugged?
Yeah.
And I'm going on national TV admitting to all of this. There's no other reason why anybody on the face of this earth would be sitting in this chair right now.
And later, paying it forward. How an 8-year-old nearly brought a soldier to tears.
It's incredible being recognized in such a manner. I look at it every day.
I am very in love with Kit Moore.
She's already married.
She wanted a divorce.
But obsessed with a country star.
He signed your back?
I got it tattooed.
You're serving your husband with a restraining order, and you've got "Marry Me, Kit Moore" painted on your window? What are you, 12?
An uncle too affectionate with his 16-year-old niece.
You put whipped cream on your neck, and Grace says you asked her to lick it off.
I don't remember doing that.
The creep meter is pegging over here.
they survived a house of horrors.
Locks on the refrigerator, blood splattered on a wall.
The children speak out for the first time.
You found some guns?
Yeah, we were gonna go inside and kill all of them.
Is his daughter's survivalist boyfriend?
Did he kidnap your daughter?
He did. No.
A threat to his family.
She asked me to come get her.
You're lying.
I'm lying? Why don't you shut the hell up? I'm not gonna shut my mouth.
If I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here, and I'd take his damn head off.
My mother is a narcissistic abuser. She was so mean and hateful growing up. My mother looked at me one time and told me that she hated me, and she repeated it 3 times. She looked me right in the eyes when she said it. That hurts.
Why are you two not speaking right now? You've not been speaking since you got here.
Would you like to explain it?
Go ahead.
No, I'm asking you.
Okay, when we got here Sunday night.
Can I get the short version?
Yes. Leslie is on drugs.
When we talked to you in our initial conversation with you, you said that you had been clean since '09. Then when we fill out our initial intake form with you, you actually said, well, I did meth in October of 13. Then at another point in the interview, you said he reported to CPS that you were doing meth in October of 14, and you said, and that was true. Okay, then we did a drug screen on you when you got here, and you tested positive for meth and Vicodin. Yes. Every time you've been tested in the last 3 years, you're testing positive for meth.
I know that over the phone, there are times that I've been scared to tell anybody the exact truth because I'm afraid that he's monitoring it and CPS is going to show up at my doorstep. But I have never been more utterly honest than I have with your staff. I said, but if you're asking if I'm clean, I would rather wait till I get there to answer the question. I don't know why in my head I was thinking that it's easier for me to answer the question if I'm about to go on national TV and admit to everybody that I'm using. And I have been brutally honest about what I have used and when I have used it. And I'm going on national TV admitting to all of this because I want help for me and I want help for my son, and there's no other reason why anybody on the face of this earth would be sitting in this chair right now admitting on TV that they are a drug addict. If I thought for a second I could come on this show and get by lying to you, I mean, I'm not stupid. I knew that y'all would know the truth about all of this, and there's no other reason why I would be sitting here today if I did not want help.
You say you want help, but then you got here and at 7 o'clock, you say, I'm too tired to do the interview.
I was scared.
And so your mother says, you better do this interview, you little bitch, or I'm going to kick you out of the apartment and report you to CPS.
I did say it.
I know.
It's taken such a huge amount of strength and courage for me to come on national TV and admit to the thing that I know, the one thing that I know will take my child away from me.
You say that you're doing one thing that would get your child taken away from you. You don't have custody of the child now.
Well, I mean...
And the truth is, you may be doing the one thing that would ever give you an opportunity to have access to your child is to stop this ridiculous self-destructive behavior and get yourself straightened out. And, you know, you talk about him tracking you, but the only tracking that I can verify at all is when you've tracked him.
How have I tracked him?
Like in Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was before the cyber stalking started.
You say he's accusing you of being paranoid and all of this stuff about his family being in the trees watching you, but you do admit that you at one point believed that his family were wearing camouflage in the trees, watching you from the trees.
I did.
And you're like crawling around.
No, I didn't crawl around.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Up this embankment of
It wasn't crawling, Andy. It was walking. No, you did everything in your power to make my paranoia worse, and you know it.
Okay, that's why I took you on a vacation.
No, you
to get
took
away.
me on a vacation to absolutely terrorize me.
Yeah,
the
'cause that
entire
sounds
vacation.
really good to me.
It is. You're just that sick.
The question is, what is the best for their 5-year-old son in the middle of these warring parents? What role can Leslie's mother, Myrna, play in making things better or worse? And what can Leslie do if she is ever going to turn this situation around? I'll be right back. The day's going to come where he's going to get old enough to say, my mother had a choice, and she decided to get high.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
Leslie and Andy were married for 7 years, but during those years, there were fights that sometimes became physical. There were arrests, there was drug use, accusations of stalking, and in all of that, there's a 5-year-old little boy that, you know, just wants peace. You know, Andy, I don't know what your real thoughts or motivations are, but I'll tell you one thing for absolute sure, and you can go home and you can write this down and you can put the date on it, and you can reference it in 5 years and in 10 years, and remember that I told you this. You can win today in terms of having undivided loyalty and allegiance for your son, and it can turn out to be the biggest loss of your life, because I will promise you the day will come that little boy will become a young man, and he will say, why did I not have my mother in my life, and why, as my father, did you not do what was necessary for her to be in my life? What you want is for him to grow up one day and say, you know, they got a divorce and there were some real rough patches, but my father did what was necessary to make sure that I had a relationship with my mother, and that was critical in my upbringing, and I will forever be grateful to him for being a big enough man to do that for me. And Leslie, look, I don't know how or why you have gotten into this situation. I know a fair amount of it. You have some ownership in that, but you're the one that has made the choice to do the drugs. You're the one that makes that choice again every day. And they're going to kill you. They're going to kill your family. They're going to rob your son of his mother. And the day's going to come where he's going to get old enough to say, my mother had a choice. She either had a choice to get high or put me in her lap and read me a story, and she decided to get high.
I don't want that.
If he had to tell a story right now, that's the story that he would have to tell, because that's the truth right now. You have not done what is necessary to get yourself in a position to be a responsible influence, a responsible presence in that young man's life. And now he may be the biggest jerk to come down the road in 100 years. I don't know. I don't know him. He may not. She may be a nightmare of a mother. Don't know. But I know this. You have a choice to make. And you can say, I showed up at court and I took that drug test knowing I would fail it and I'll never give up on my son. That's a great speech. That's a great speech. Those are impassioned words. But you still went home and got high, didn't you?
Yes, sir. I did.
I'm your worst nightmare. Because I don't buy manipulations.
I think you do.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phill. Her daughter lives on the streets.
You wanted to come home and you said no.
You're out there because I messed up.
I understand
That you screwed my brain up. I'm psychotic now, dude.
That's tomorrow.
So you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision that says, at some point, I'm going to stop talking, I'm going to stop complaining, I'm going to stop blaming, and I'm going to take responsibility for who I am as a woman and a mother, and I'm going to put myself in a position to be in my son's life. Now, I'm willing to help you do that. I am willing to help you do that, but you need to understand something about me. When I get involved in this, if you're going through the motions and trying to put a face on this, I'm your worst nightmare. Because I don't buy manipulations.
I think you do.
If I get involved in this, I never surrender to the disease.
Okay.
I never surrender to the disease. I'm not going to put you in some 28-day wonder program somewhere that you go down there and tell everybody what you want to hear. You know what? Everybody's a star in rehab. It's what you do when you get out. And if you come out and have to scrub toilets, scrub floors, wait tables, or whatever you have to do, and live in a shoebox, you do what you have to do to get yourself solid and become an influence in that child's life. And if he's got a brain in his head, and I believe he does, he's going to support that. Now, you may not ever like each other, and that's okay, but you can learn to co-parent. But you cannot co-parent if you are a drug addict.
Absolutely.
And there's Origins Behavioral Health Care, which, in my opinion, is the nation's leading dual diagnosis treatment center. And when I say dual diagnosis,
yes, sir.
You got a lot going on with you.
I know what it is.
It's not just drugs. A lot of what you're doing is self-medicating anxiety and depression that you've been carrying for a long time, in my opinion. I haven't diagnosed you, but I'm a pretty quick study. And I think there's a lot going on there. And this is located on South Padre Island and in West Palm Beach, Florida, and Vero Beach, Florida. We'll make a decision on where's the best place for you to go. But they offer very sophisticated gender-specific treatment programs. They're very customized. They specialize in what you need. And they'll deal with the psychological disorders and the addiction. I don't know how long you'll be there. Because they work the criteria. You will be there until.
Yes, sir.
I guarantee you it won't be 30 days.
Okay.
But you will come back with your head on straight. And I assume you support this. I assume you support this. And if not, then they have to be out of your life.
Yes,
sir. You can have a relationship with this son, never see him again. It's called intermediaries.
Yeah.
But it begins with you. You've got to clean your own house.
Yes, sir.
And what he does or doesn't do doesn't matter. This is about you getting straight first. Then you come from a position of strength as a mother, strength as a woman. We got a clear understanding?
Yes, sir.
And that means you go down there and you lean into this program. And when you leave, there is no coming back. I'm going to give you one shot. You better grab on and hang on.
I will.
Fair enough? Okay. All right, deal? Okay. All right, coming up, you won't believe what an 8-year-old boy did when he found some unexpected cash. We're going to find out when we come back.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phill to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
This show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphill.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we?
Or you can call
323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
On October 6th, just a few weeks ago, Lauren, a college student, was running through a park in New York City. She had no idea she dropped her school ID. That is until her professor called her and said, you know what? You're famous.
College student is the talk of Twitter thanks to Tom Hanks.
He tweeted a picture of her Fordham ID card after he found it, and since then everybody's been looking for Lauren.
She's Fordham University senior Lauren.
I don't have a Twitter, but one of my professors emailed me with a link to Twitter and said, you're famous.
Lauren says she was out running in Central Park yesterday when she must have dropped it. So about Tom Hanks.
I have not spoken to Tom Hanks personally. If he has my ID and would like to give it back, I will surely meet him to do that.
This is really a full circle moment for Tom Hanks. Back in March, he lost his credit card and then tweeted, a guy named Tony found my credit card on the street in New York City and returned it. Tony, you make this city even greater. Thanks, Hanks.
Well, Lauren did get her ID back from Tom Hanks, and her roommate recorded the exact moment she opened a very nice surprise. Take a look.
Lauren, hold on to this. Tom Hanks.
Oh my God. Look at the letterhead.
Here it is.
What do you say to him?
Thank you so much. I will definitely hold on to it.
All right, Lauren joins us now via Polycom. Lauren, how you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. We just looked at the footage when you opened that note. Nobody had ever seen that before. That had to be a surprise.
That was definitely a shock, a really pleasant surprise. It's nice that somebody's there looking out and giving stuff back.
Okay, so are you going to run through Central Park now, dropping stuff everywhere you go?
I think myself and the rest of Fordham University plans on just throwing their IDs all over the place.
Well, go study. You're in school.
I will. Thank you.
All right, Lauren, thanks so much. Now, this pay it forward kind of goes on, because when an 8-year-old boy found a $20 bill, he decided, you know what, I'm going to buy me something. Then he thought, wait a minute. He wanted to do something in honor of his hero.
Here at the Ohio Air National Guard Base near Toledo.
This is the 180th Fighter Wing.
Lieutenant Colonel Frank Daly still can't believe the honor recently bestowed upon him.
It's incredible being recognized in such a manner.
It happened at a Cracker Barrel, of all places. As the security camera shows, Lieutenant Colonel Daly entered the restaurant on February 7th for an early lunch. At about the same time, 8-year-old Miles Eckert came in with his family. Miles, in the green hoodie, was very excited. He just found a $20 bill in the parking lot.
Just sitting there?
Yeah.
Did you start thinking of what you could spend it on?
I kind of wanted to get a video game, but then I decided not to.
He changed his mind when he saw that guy in uniform.
Because he was a soldier, and soldiers remind me of my dad.
And so, with his dad in mind, Miles wrapped the 20 in a note that read, "Dear soldier, my dad was a soldier. He's in heaven now. I found this $20 in the parking lot when we got here. We like to pay it forward in my family. It's your lucky day. Thank you for your service. Signed, Miles Eckert, a Gold Star kid."
You read it more than once?
I look at it every day.
Well, Miles, now 10, and his mother, Tiffany, are joining us via Polycom.
Hi, Dr. Phil. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? How you doing, Miles?
Good.
That's a good-looking bow tie you got on there.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you certainly wear it well. So we were just watching the story about you finding that $20 bill and passing it on. I thought that was really a kind and big boy thing to do. What made you decide to do that?
Because it was the right thing, and that's how my mom taught me. Aww.
You and your family met with President and Laura Bush, right?
Yeah. It was fun, but I was also nervous because it was a president, and I've never met a president before.
Miles is going to be presented the Freedom Award from the Carolinas Freedom Foundation, and Miles will be the first child to ever receive that award. What do y'all think of that? And by the way, I want everybody to know that Miles' act went viral, and he has raised $1.8 million for soldiers. How about that? When we come back, the countdown continues with the ultimate way to pay it forward next. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
We were just talking about paying it forward and using the internet for good. Well, Robin and I want to tell you about a place where you can do just that. It's a website called omaze.com.
I was so excited when they reached out to me to partner with my foundation When Georgia Smiled and asked if we would create an event to donate money for charity.
We thought the most unique experience on our show that we could share would be our signature walk-off, which we've done from the very first day we ever have done the show. So fans can donate as little as $10 for the opportunity to do something no fan has done before if they win the experience called Walk a Day in Robin's Shoes.
Philip always says that he is the one who often gets the attention, while behind the scenes, his staff does most of the work. And I have to tell you, being someone who has been here involved in this show from the beginning, no true words have ever been spoken. Take a look at what I mean.
I think I'd be madder than a wet hen myself. She's just cute as a speckled pup, so y'all just have a donkey barbecue and he furnishes the ass.
The secret behind Philip's Phillisms is me. I test them all to make sure they're good sayings to use on the show.
I'm a pretty good judge of horse flesh.
I mean, you don't think he just makes those up on his own, do you?
This ain't my first rodeo, I promise you.
I mean, really. Seriously, he doesn't.
How's that working for you? How's that working for you? I didn't come in on a load of turnips. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. You want to be right or you want to be happy?
Right now, I'm testing. That's like nailing Jell-O to a wall. So let's see. Well, I can tell you right now. Approved. Send it on.
It's like nailing Jell-O to the wall.
Got them just as flat as I can get them. And it's true. It just doesn't matter how flat you make a pancake. It's got two sides. Approved.
I don't care how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides. You can put feathers on a dog, that don't make it a chicken.
Okay, Buttons. You can put feathers on a dog, but that don't make it a chicken. You're a dog now, but I'm gonna put some feathers on you. You're still a dog. You got feathers on you. Approved. Next.
You can stick feathers all over a dog, but it's still a dog. It's like trying to sack fog.
Now, I think this might be the best one yet. It's like trying to sack fog, but you just can't get a handle on it. It's impossible. It's perfect.
You're like trying to sack fog.
This next one might be the cutest one. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Well, let's just see about that. Beautiful lipstick, though, and you look just gorgeous. Even with all this lipstick on you, you're still a pig, so approved.
You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig.
Well, my Phillisms work is done for the day. I can't wait to spend an amazing day with you, all for a great cause. When you enter, you're also supporting When Georgia Smiled. Walk-off with us, I promise I won't make you kiss a pig.
Yeah, that's very funny. Remember, the more you donate, the more chances you have to win, and the ultimate experience is a day in Hollywood for you and a friend. And let me brag for just a second. It's only halfway through the campaign, and already some of the experiences are selling out. I understand that Lunch with Robin package has broken all the records. Never before in the history of website has a premium package sold in such short time. I mean, it's just gone.
Much to my amazement, $10 can go a long way. Robert Downey Jr. recently raised over $2 million in donations for a children's hospital from $10 donations through Omaze.
And as I said, it's all for a great cause, and one that is important to Robin, me, and I know to all of you, to help those women and children affected by domestic violence.
So please, help if you can, and don't miss out. You can also see more of my Phillism testing and some other really fun videos at omaze.com/Robin.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Dr. Phill. She claims her husband manipulated her into a post-nup agreement.
I was bullied into signing this.
He accuses her of cheating.
When he left me, I did go on a date.
Why did she have to lie to me about it?
Well, why did you say you had 3 kids instead of 4?
I don't care if I'd ever see Michael again. He's really hurt my mom.
Are their kids taking sides?
Do your kids not like her?
They hate me.
She hates them.
That's not true. His daughter actually said, I don't know why you're married to him. He doesn't treat you very good. Did she say that?
No. But it sounds good on TV.
And if they do call it quits,
do you want a divorce?
Will the post-nup hold up?
We don't have to fight about stuff.
Yeah, because I don't have anything. You have it all.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Question. What would you do if you met someone online, made a connection, and fell in love? Would you get married? Most people would. My guests Carrie and Michael sure did, even though it was a 3rd marriage for both of them.
When I first met Michael, I really believed I had met my Prince Charming.
The thing that first attracted me to it was the instant chemistry. It was kind of off the charts.
No hiccup, no hesitation, no prenup. They headed down the aisle. But then, 6 years into the marriage, Carrie claims that Michael eventually dropped the bomb on her. And no, they weren't divorce papers. It's a post-nuptial agreement that Michael had drafted. Take a look.
One day, Michael handed me some paperwork. I asked him, what is this? He said, this is a post-nup, and you're going to sign it. I told him, I've heard of a prenup, but what is a post-nuptial agreement? Michael said, if you don't do it, I'm going to leave you right here and now, and you're going to have nothing. I signed the post-nup because he bullied me. Now I don't get any protection, whether I stay in my marriage or not. I feel like I was scammed and deceived by my husband.
She does have a high sense of insecurity. Carrie tends to create issues where there's really not any issue. What Carrie needs to know about the post-nuptial agreement is, number 1, it only applies if we get divorced. And number 2, if she's fully committed in the relationship, then it's not an issue.
I live in constant fear of Michael leaving me. And I am not getting any younger. I'm not pretty. I just want this post-nup to be thrown away.
Well, it only applies if you get a divorce. Of course it only applies if you get a divorce. Carrie wants the post-nup thrown out But Michael says, no way. Now she wishes she had paid attention to her Prince Charming's not so charming side.
I don't think the postnup should be tossed out. I wanted the postnuptial agreement because it's a contract that you both agreed to, that you sign, that, you know, how you're going to control, you know, what happens in case of a divorce. And we don't have to pay lawyers $350 an hour to figure it out for us. We've already figured it out for ourselves. Carrie has not articulated specifically why she dislikes the postnuptial agreement. I think that part of it is that she wants me to have more skin in the game.
The postnup basically said his money would be his retirement, 100% would all be his. I would have access to nothing. And he was going to be smart this time and make sure that his third wife didn't do the same to him. When I first met Michael, I closed my eyes to any other red flags. Michael told me he was only married once before. Michael had been married twice before. Michael told me that he had 3 children. He actually had 4 children. With the postnup, I just feel more like a girlfriend, not a wife.
Okay, Carrie, did you marry the person that you thought you were marrying?
I am scared to say the truth that no, I didn't. I didn't marry the person I thought. Why are you scared to say the truth? Because your guys are going to all think I'm crazy because I still want to stay married.
Well, I don't think it's crazy.
Almost immediately after we got married, red flags came up. But they came up after we got married.
Yeah. I made a list of red flags that you overlooked before. He lied about being a widower. Didn't you know that before you married him?
Yes, I did.
So he told you that his wife died.
Yes.
That's not true. He actually left her and took up with another woman.
Yes.
And you knew that before you married him?
I did.
Wasn't that kind of a red flag?
Yeah, it was a red flag. One that I missed.
Okay.
Was a red flag.
He lied about the number of kids he had. He said he had 3 kids, but he really had 4?
Yes, he had a 4th one with the second wife that I didn't know about.
But he just didn't mention it. Okay. He lied about cheating on his first wife.
Yeah.
And you knew that before you married him?
I did.
He lied about how he met his second wife.
Yes, he did.
How did he meet his second wife?
Well, they were both police officers, and she was on a call at the same time he went on a call, and he and her met that way. Well, I found out she couldn't have been on a call when he met her because she was on a disability and was not working. And then so the only way he could have met her on patrol was when he was still married to his first wife.
Okay.
I mean, it
so
didn't
timing
take rockets.
Was important.
Yeah, the timing all came.
Okay, and then he was in a custody battle.
A huge custody battle.
And he forgot to tell you about that?
He did not tell me about that until after we got married. I mean, I had no idea the rabbit hole I had just fallen into.
Okay, so all of that notwithstanding, you still say that there's something here.
Yeah. I still love him. At the end of the day, I want to still be married to him.
Okay, and that's not just because you think there's no alternative.
Yeah.
Here was your answer.
Oh, did I do that?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm going to sound pathetic if I tell you that it's really because I'm old at this point, and the truth is, the prospect of getting married at my age again and the thought of having to do this all over again with someone else scares the heck out of me, and I don't want to do it again. So I'd rather just stay in the cesspool I'm in. And I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for anyone to look at me and go, oh, that poor pathetic woman. It's just how I feel. And I can't change how I'm feeling. It's just how I feel. It's what I've accepted for myself right now.
What do you mean you can't change how you feel?
I can't change that I feel this way.
Well, maybe not by yourself, but...
Therapists have tried. Trust me.
I'm sorry?
Therapists have tried to tell me, that I have the worst self-esteem they'd ever seen in a woman.
Well, I'm not
So I've already heard it.
Oh. Is that a dare?
We did see a marriage counselor, and the marriage counselor looked at both Michael and I and said to Michael, "You're not good husband material." And he said to me, "You need to leave him." And that was 3 years ago.
You've seen a therapist and a marriage counselor, and now you're in front of me saying that you can't be helped. Are you trying to insult me? Is that what it is? I'm not just a therapist and a marriage counselor, lady. I will whoop your ass if you keep talking like that. All right, look, we've heard Carrie's side of the story. There are two sides to every story. Now we're going to hear from Michael, why he says he has a reason for drafting the post-nup. We're going to hear what it is. We're going to put all of this on the table, and we're going to deal with that. After the break, here we go.
Michael started accusing me of cheating for no reason.
There's been times when I felt like I was cheated on.
He had a tracker on my phone and in my car, so he knew where I was 24 hours a day. I have never, ever cheated on Michael.
And later, your kids not like her?
Oh, they hate me.
She hates them.
You moved me into that house with your daughter. I wasn't allowed in the kitchen.
Baloney.
Because I had to go upstairs.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Did you put your daughter in a garbage bag, put weights in the garbage bag, and try to drown her in a bathtub?
No, sir.
An ex-wife's shocking accusations.
You say that he poisoned your daughter's ice cream, but you did not take her to the emergency room.
I didn't.
A bitter custody battle.
My kids tell me I have a bruise, and my mom said that you put it there.
I am not coaching my daughters to lie.
Our producer set 3 wake-up calls for you this morning, and you blamed your monster kids for being late.
Oh, no, it wasn't their fault, no.
I know it's not their fault. I'm curious that you don't know it's not their fault.
That's Monday.
Carrie says she was 6 years into her 8-year marriage when her husband, Michael, hit her with what she feels was the unthinkable. A post-nup contract that she claims leaves her without financial support if they remain married, or flat broke if they ever get divorced. The question is, why would her husband draft a post-nup for her to sign so many years after getting married? Michael says he had some real reasons not to trust Carrie.
Michael went from being my Prince Charming to being very controlling and very jealous. He started accusing me of cheating for no reason.
There's been times when I felt like I was cheated on.
Michael claims he has evidence of me cheating. He told me that he had a photo of me kissing another man. When Michael showed me the picture, it was a picture of my ex-husband and I kissing on our honeymoon.
Once I checked on the computer and she had been on a dating website. I saw that she had 2 other dates set up.
We were separated. I had never met this man, and I have never, ever cheated on Michael.
She betrayed me.
I think Michael's paranoid. I found out he had a tracker on my phone and in my car, so he knew where I was 24 hours a day.
I think because of her insecurities, she always accuses me of cheating. She accuses me of doing something that I've caught her doing.
Michael knows I'm not a cheater. Michael uses this as a way to control me.
All right, Michael, welcome.
Well,
so you've been married 8 years.
Correct.
What triggered the post-nup?
You know, I found some things that I thought was unsettling. I didn't think she was being honest with me. And it elevated the probability of a divorce. And I didn't want to do a battle.
Can you tell the truth? How much more money do you make than I? And not that I want to make this about money, because I don't. But let's be honest, Michael.
One of the issues that came up, especially when we litigated, was that when the post-nup was signed, it anticipated that she would be working full-time. Well, she doesn't work full-time now.
Who anticipated that?
Well, I did.
You wanted to get in there and get an agreement in place in the event that you did go to divorce.
Exactly. We have an agreement, so going forward in our relationship, that we don't have to fight. If we decide to end our relationship, we don't have to fight about stuff.
Yeah, because I don't have anything. You have it all. You came to me and you said, Carrie, you can write anything you want in the Post-Nut, and it will be honored, and it will be, I promise I'll do it, and I'll even notarize it. Be honest, Michael, because you led me to believe that you were going to honor all my handwritten parts to it.
You litigated it. The court decided that was unenforceable.
I feel like I was bullied into signing this.
I want to see what we're talking about here. This is the postnuptial agreement. You know, a lot of folks are married, and this is educational for them. 4.1.3, after the marriage, the income from separate property remains separate property. So it means whatever you owned and whatever she owned remains separate.
Correct.
Okay. Then 4.2, the parties agree the property described in A shall remain the sole and separate property of Carrie, and B shall remain the sole and separate property of Michael. So you all listed out different things you own. The parties agree that all rents, issues, profits, appreciation, increases in value of property shall remain the separate property owner of that property. And your point is this is virtually all Michael's, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So out of this post-nup, you gained and granted virtually nothing.
Correct.
Okay. And then you came and said, I wanted to add some things in here.
Well, actually, he came to me and said, you can add stuff to it, too, honey. You can put whatever you want in it, and it will be honored.
Okay. And you said you signed this in a hot car with him threatening you to leave you. Okay, then here's what you added. You said Michael agrees he will not file for divorce from his wife, Carrie, starting on this day. And if he files for divorce, this post-nup will be voided and will not be effective. And you also said that if you are caught cheating with another man, defined as any romantic contact with another man, including emails, texts, phones, virtually anything, what you're adding here will be void.
Yes.
Okay. Michael has asked his wife, Carrie, to marry him in a specific church, and Michael agrees to do that. He agrees he will share all of his contact with his ex-wife, with Carrie. He agrees that he will not see this ex-wife without telling you. And if any of these agreements are violated in the letter, as of September 6th, the postmarital agreement will not be effective. And Michael signed that. Now, you then went to court, and the judge said these are basically social issues, so they're not legal issues, but they're issues you agreed to.
Sure.
Yeah. Carrie adamantly denies she has been cheating this whole time on Michael, but Michael claims he has proof. We're going to talk about that when we come back. He says that he caught you cheating. Did you go on a date?
I did go on a date.
Why did she have to lie to me about it?
Well, why did you say you had 3 kids instead of 4? And later...
I don't know why you're doing this.
Because you're the one who claimed honesty.
No, but it makes better television.
Well, I'm not trying to make better television. I'm trying to make this marriage work.
This November, the shocking stories that made headlines. A surrogate mom scam. She faked her pregnancies.
After 5 months, I'm told there is no baby.
How long do I have to be punished for this?
You destroyed our lives.
I am very in love with Kit Morris.
She's already married.
She wanted a divorce.
But obsessed with a country star.
He signed your back?
I got it tattooed.
You're serving your husband with a restraining order, and you've got "Marry Me, Kit Moore" painted on your window? What are you, 12?
They survived a house of horrors.
Locks on the refrigerator, blood splattered on a wall.
The children speak out for the first time.
You found some guns?
Yeah.
We were going to go inside and kill all of them.
This is the month.
Did he kidnap your daughter?
He did. No.
Where anything can happen.
She asked me to come get her.
You're lying.
I'm lying? Why don't you shut the hell up? I'm not going to shut my mouth. If I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here, and I'd take his damn head off.
Talking today to a couple who has been at a crossroads for several years as to whether they should stay together or split ways. Now, during the break, did I hear you asking him, "You're not getting mad at me, are you?"
Yes, you heard that. I don't want him to be mad at me. And now he's probably mad at me.
This is just part of the dynamic that we have in our relationship.
She says that she felt bullied into this postnuptial agreement, and you say that you recognize that she's insecure. Do you feel, as her husband, that you have any duty of stewardship to help her with that and make certain that you don't exploit that or take advantage of that?
Sure.
Did you recognize that she felt threatened when this postnup was done?
Well, yeah, she got caught.
She got caught cheating?
Sure.
Can we really talk about that, please? I want this out there.
Okay. Well, yes, because on December 18th of 13, Michael represented to the court under penalty of perjury that he and Carrie had been physically separated since March 25th of 11, and that they were sleeping separately. But yet he says that during that time, he says they were separated, that they were sleeping separately, but yet he says that during that time he caught you cheating by being on a website and interacting with another man.
He packed his bags and he moved out. And he moved out with his daughter, who was right behind him clapping.
Were you cheating?
When I define cheating, I define it as a romantic relationship with someone, having feelings for someone other than your husband. I never had that. When he left me, I felt the lowest form of human that I could feel. And I wanted somebody to say to me, you know what? You're okay, you're all right. I think you're okay, I would date you. And so, yeah, I went on the internet because as far as I was concerned, we were no longer in a relationship. But I did feel like we were done.
Did you go on a date?
I did go on a date.
Uh-huh. And did you talk to someone? You interacted with somebody?
Yes. On a friendly manner. In fact, Michael downloaded all my stuff on my computer because he does forensic stuff. So he came to my house and he downloaded everything, and he found 2 emails that show me talking to someone. And in those emails, I think they were innocent.
And at this time,
if he feels I was cheating, he should have came to me and said, here's my evidence. I downloaded all your stuff, so I know exactly who you've been talking to. And if that's what he found on my computer after he downloaded everything, you know what? I think I'm pretty dang nice.
So there was no romantic involvement?
No.
You were not intimate with someone else?
Never.
You didn't sleep with anybody else?
No, didn't even kiss anyone else.
You didn't kiss anybody?
If you want to put me up to a lie detector test and ask me, I will be so happy to do it. I will be ecstatic to do a lie detector test. That I have never had romantic feelings for anyone but this guy right here since I've been married to him. And
And what do you say about all of this?
What part?
Had you packed up and left?
We were separated, and if she wanted to date,
Wait, he asked you something specific.
I know, I understand that.
Did you pack up and leave me?
Yes.
So it was more than just separated.
The issue isn't so much that, you know, if she wanted to date, the issue for me was that she should be honest about it. You know, she didn't have to lie to me to go on these dates. Why did she lie to me?
I didn't feel at that point it was any more of your business.
But lying about it.
That's kind of a mini focus group. No, seriously, if you pack up and leave, don't you leave your rights of her accountability behind you?
Absolutely.
So why does she have to be accountable to you if you pack up and leave?
There's a difference between accountability and deception. Why did she have to deceive me about it? Why can't she just be like what she is right now and just tell me about it? Why did she have to lie to me about it?
Well, why did you say you had 3 kids instead of 4? Do your kids not like her?
Oh, they hate me.
She hates them.
I don't hate them. You made a division in this family, and it's hurtful. And you made it worse by adding a post note to it.
She feels that there are things that she's learned about you since you got married that she didn't know fully when she married you.
I didn't know you were in a huge battle with your ex-wife. I didn't know that you guys...
It wasn't a huge battle.
Oh, my word. She was accusing your family of horrible things, Michael. That's a huge battle. I was shocked when I read the court papers. Then she got escalated when I came aboard. It just, all of a sudden I got sucked into the whirlpool of crazy from you and her.
I don't want any more battles. I fought enough.
What battles? People who love each other jump in the trenches together, and they fight together.
But you don't have to jump into a trench if there's not a battle. Why does it have to be a battle?
She says there were some red flags she overlooked before she got married to you. She says, this is her perception, she says you lied about being a widower. She said you lied about having 3 kids when you had 4. She said you lied about cheating on your first wife. She lied about how you met your second wife, and lied about being in this huge custody battle.
None of that's true. It's just her excuse. She knew I had 4 kids. I never said I was a widower, ever. She knew exactly.
In the profile area, maybe you accidentally clicked widower.
That's not true. Because
that's what I remember reading and thinking, wow, right, no ex-wife.
That is absolutely not true. Absolutely not
I'm sorry. If that's not what I saw, I'm sorry.
No, but it makes better television.
Well, I'm not trying to make better television. I'm trying to make this marriage. I'm not trying, honey. I'm really not. I'm trying to make this marriage work. All I'm trying to say is, Michael, there's times you're not always honest with me. But I'm willing to say, you know what? Let's just move on from it, and let's respect each other and love each other. There's no bad guy here. I'm not here to make any entertainment. I'm here to say, Michael, let's just love each other. Let's have your kids and my kids all come together and just become a family and enjoy each other like families are supposed to do. You don't even let me around your children. You made a division in this family, and it's hurtful. And you made it worse by adding a post note to it.
Your kids not like her?
Oh, they hate me.
She hates them.
I don't hate them.
They don't like her and she doesn't like them?
Correct. They fight. The last 2 times she's been together with my kids, they fought. Big, huge fights.
That's not true. His daughter actually said, I don't know why you're married to him. He doesn't treat you very good, so I don't know why you're... Did she say that?
No.
Oh. We sat on the bed.
But it sounds good on TV.
What do you mean sounds good on TV? What's your...
You know, I mean exactly that.
I don't understand.
This is not a therapy session.
No, it's not.
You know, and these are things that I've heard her say over and over and over again. These things are not new to me.
What if, in hearing the 2 of you go back and forth, it's just possible that I might have a point of view that might be a strategy that brought some increased likelihood of peace and happiness to this situation? I mean, what if that was the case? I mean, you're saying, oh, it makes good television. Like, Sorry, you're just not exactly a ratings grab. Hate to disappoint you.
I don't think I am. I'm the bad guy here.
That's not what this is about. This is about we can some kind of way come up with a strategy that everybody could live with.
Of course I'd be interested.
Let's take a break. Carrie and Michael do agree on one thing, that it was impossible living with the other's children. We'll hear what Carrie's children have to say next, and then I want to make a few suggestions. We'll be right back.
When I first met Michael, I thought he was a stalker and a weirdo.
I don't really consider him as like my stepdad.
I don't care if I'd ever see Michael again. He's really hurt my mom.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phill, she claims her ex
You say he poisoned your daughter's ice cream.
is tormenting their children.
Did you put your daughter in a garbage bag and try to drown her in a bathtub?
No, sir.
That's Monday.
Carrie claims her husband, Michael, threatened to leave her if she didn't sign a postnuptial agreement. Michael says he needed the postnup as protection after he allegedly discovered her cheating. Now, Carrie's daughter, Christina, and son, Eric, say they're not surprised that their mother was blindsided by Michael, given their stepfather's pattern of manipulation.
When I first met Michael, I thought he was a stalker and a weirdo.
I don't really consider him as like my stepdad, just my mom's husband.
Instead of coming over and knocking on the door, he'd come and knock on the window. I thought that was really creepy and bizarre.
Christina doesn't care for me. I'm not sure I understand why there's such a high level of animosity.
I described him as manipulating, controlling, a little bit sketchy.
Michael in the past has bullied my children.
Years ago, when my younger brother Eric was a teenager, Michael would punch him in the stomach.
Because I'm really just a kid. What adult or man, for that matter, punches a kid?
Michael even put my brother Alex in jail. Michael and Alex got into an argument and it got physical. The police arrested Alex and Alex spent 6 months in jail. When I heard about the postnup, I got really upset with my mom. Michael bullied her into doing so.
I really do think the whole thing is nonsense.
I don't care if I'd ever see Michael again. He's really hurt my mom.
Okay, guys, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here to weigh in. You say you think he's manipulative and is not being fair to your mom.
I've seen her cry and upset just too much over a marriage, and you should be happy with the person you're with, and she's not, and it pains us to see.
I mean, look what she was saying about herself, about her low self-esteem. And you know, as a man, you should uplift your wife all the time. Tell her she's beautiful. Take her out. Make her feel special. She should never be saying those things about herself.
When you got married, you said there was a secret house you didn't know about, and you weren't allowed to come into your house?
I'll refresh your memory. You and your daughter moved into a house together, and you told me I couldn't know where it was. Remember? And I moved into an apartment, and you said you cannot come over when she's here. You're not allowed here. And for the first long period of time, you wouldn't even tell me where it was. And then I came to you, and I said, Michael, I lost my job. I need a place to live. And you said, well, the only way you can come here is if I sneak you in at night after my daughter goes to bed, because she can't know you're here.
That's ridiculous.
Michael,
why would you say that?
Did that happen?
No. That's ridiculous. Why would you say that?
I remember my mom telling me that.
Michael, then how can we fix this if you can't be honest?
That's not true.
What is true?
What is true is that she did lose her job, and then I got into a different house that was bigger, had more bedrooms, and I went and I got her stuff. I packed it in a trailer by myself, all of her furniture by myself, and I moved it into the new place.
And tell him, okay, let's use that example. Tell Dr. Phill what you told me when you moved me into that house with your daughter.
Not to battle with her?
No, you didn't say not to battle. You said
I asked you not to
go
get in a
right
fight
upstairs.
With her.
Don't
no, I did not.
confront her. Don't
I
come
never
downstairs.
said that.
For the first 6 months, I wasn't allowed in the kitchen.
Baloney.
I literally lived upstairs the entire time.
I don't know why you're doing this.
It's the whole reason
why
I
are you
went and bought
creating
my
this
house.
stuff?
Because you're the one who claimed honesty.
But what you're saying is not true. I don't understand why you're doing it.
Out of the 8 years that you've been married, how much time have y'all actually lived together in the same place?
Would you say about a year?
Half of it.
Does that seem unusual?
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael, in my opinion, is the luckiest married guy you'll ever want to meet. He has his own life. He has his own place. He has a great life. He comes and goes however he wants. I can't question him. Any conflict that I bring to the table, and the biggest one is, why don't your kids like me? So let's put our family together and find out why these kids are acting this way, and let's fix it.
Well, boy, that wouldn't be the place to start. Trust me, blending the families when everybody's an adult is not required. Carrie says Michael told her the post-nup had to focus on assets in order to be legally binding. Is that even true? We're going to find out when we come back.
Stay with Michael because I really do love him. What I want is Michael and I to become more mature and more loving towards each other.
In an ideal world, I see Carrie and I working our way through the problem that we have now. Because of her insecurity, she doesn't hear that I want to be with her for the rest of our lives.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phill to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL.
Michael wants it both ways. He wants to be a single guy who can do whatever he wants, but he wants to be married to have the perks of having a relationship with a woman. When I think about what he's doing, I wish he could see how hurtful he has been towards me, because I'm not a girlfriend, I'm his wife.
I want to add to the conversation estate planning attorney Anne Margaret Carroza. One of the focuses in her practice is estate planning, which includes postnuptial agreements. Anne Margaret, there are conditions by which these things have to come into play to be enforceable. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, there are a lot of problems with this postnuptial agreement. I found the asset disclosure that I saw a little questionable. You mentioned that Michael has a plane. I didn't see that on the asset disclosure. You claimed that you were under duress from what you told the producers. So the main part of the document is very clearly numbered and lettered, and it says if any part of this is unenforceable, the rest of it will remain in effect. So with your add-ons, I kind of saw what you were trying to accomplish there, and your add-on spoke to the relationship and where you wanted to go and what you wanted to build together. And I thought that was great, but the way you went about it wasn't that good. So you started with, if you file for divorce, there is no post-nup. That's illogical.
Did you hear from Michael? I was consulted an attorney. He was pretty crummy, huh? Well, because he didn't exist.
Well, so you start basically by saying, if you get a divorce, there is no contract. That's a non-starter. And because all of your other clauses were kind of tied together, when one loop on the sweater pulled, you lost the entire thing. I would really recommend that you revisit the main part of that post-nup, and you should have things that you want in that agreement as well. You can do it, but it has to be done the right way.
Would you be willing to do that?
I'm not sure I understand what she's talking about. I think she's saying that you want to incorporate some of your things into the main body of the agreement. So basically rewrite the agreement. Is that what I'm hearing?
Redo the post-nup?
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, I'll consider it. Sure, that's no problem.
Yay!
If this proceeds to divorce, is it your legal opinion that that post-nup is enforceable, or is it vulnerable to challenge?
It's my very strong opinion, Carrie, that if you have a good attorney, the post-nup is out the window.
And you would say that because?
I would say that because she was under duress. I would say that because the asset disclosure was problematic and she was not, in fact, represented adequately by counsel. Any one of those three things alone could void the agreement. You have all three. It's done.
Carrie and Michael have a decision to make in 4 days. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by
Marie Callender starts turkey dinner by singing turkey breast perfection so that you can time on what really matters. Marie Kinders.
To get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episode, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, you two have a hearing coming up in 4 days. It's with regard to divorce proceedings?
Yeah, she filed for divorce.
And do you want a divorce? Do you want a divorce?
No, I don't want a divorce.
Do you want a divorce?
No.
And you promise you don't want a divorce?
Sure.
You know, look, do you believe that this marriage is dysfunctional?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think it is?
Sure, it has a lot of problems.
I've found that there is a formula for a successful relationship, and the formula is this. The quality of a relationship is a function of the extent to which it is first based on a solid underlying friendship. And then it's a quality of the extent to which it meets the needs of the two people involved. So that means you have to figure out what his needs are, and you have to make an effort to meet those needs to the extent that they're healthy. And you have to figure out what her needs are, and then you got to get busy meeting those needs. And so what happens? We've got two people working to come together, but you've got to figure out what each other's needs are. This stuff about blending the two families ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Doesn't mean there can't be a détente, doesn't mean that you can't decide that you're going to be cordial. And if you allow your children to disrespect your partner, then you're not being much of a partner. You got to be loyal to your partner. It begins with that. And I am absolutely willing to hand-pick a counselor that will help you broker and apply this formula that I'm talking about. And if you want to do that, I'm happy to do that. It just is our gift to you two. And you can talk about that and decide if you want to do it. But I'm telling you, it starts with that formula, and you can move forward with that. So I hope you'll at least give it 90 days to see if that works out. Because when you get divorced, all you're doing is changing one set of problems for a new set of problems.
Thank you.
That doesn't mean that you're over with. It just means you're just changing problems. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to estate planning attorney Ann Margaret Carosa. Thank you so much for your help. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.